house and I can transfer that deed into my name. It's a great crime, and it's happening all the time.
So how can you stop the nightmare and protect yourself? Find out if you're already a victim now at HomeTitleLock.com. Use promo code RADIO and get a 30-day free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection, a title scan, and access to a title specialist, a $250 value. Don't wait. Go to HoldTitleLock.com now. Promo code RADIO.
Score big by saving lives with Stanford Blood Center. Donate blood between September 1st through the 30th and be automatically entered for a chance to win 2 club-level seats to the ultimate Sunday night showdown, San Francisco versus Atlanta at Levi Stadium. It's your chance to make a difference and experience the game like never before from premium seats with an unbeatable view. Every donation helps patients in need and brings you one step closer to the end zone. Learn more at StanfordBloodCenter.org/touchdown.
Join 95.7 The Game at Pier 39 for a special live broadcast from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturday, October 4th. Meet Zaza Pachulia, Festus Ezeli, Kalina Azubuike, Tim Roy, and Bonte Hill. Plus, enter to win Warriors tickets. For more info, visit 957thegame.com.
Walking into the building for the first time after the shooting, it was crippling, but it had to be preserved.
In response to the Pulse nightclub shooting that affected the LGBTQ community, Barbara Poma, owner of Pulse, founded the One Pulse Foundation to honor Pulse victims and survivors.
If you're an ally of this community, speak out. There are more of us together than apart. It is the power of love in its rawest form.
Join the fight for LGBTQ acceptance. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and HD1 San Francisco on Odyssey Sports Station. Always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch, and YouTube. Powered by First NorCal Credit Union.
It's time for the Kickoff Show. It's Sunday, and we're locked in on the red and gold.
What a run by George Kittle!
All right, what is going on, everyone? We are live here at Laughing Monk Brewing down in Sunnyvale before the
Let's go! Bang, bang!
Take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Evan Giddings, Lorenzo Neal, the Kickoff Show. We got Purdy jerseys. We got Kittle jerseys. We even got Director of Sports Lucas Alexander and a Jimmy Garoppolo jersey. I mean, what is going on, Lo?
I know. I'm looking at Luke. Luke's looking pretty in the face, slim in the waist. He's got his beard going. The goatee. My man's got it all looking stylish, baby. The fans are out. Guns are out. The sun, you know it's going to come out. You know how this Bay Area,
Absolutely.
It's going to burn off. But I'm telling you, people are already out here. Got a group out here already playing some little, what is it? What's the ball? Throw it into little buckets here.
Ball toss.
You know you do it. But
yeah, exactly.
Usually you got some beer involved, beer pongs. You got a bunch of cups out on the table. But this is trash can beer pong. So they got to shoot like a 40-ouncer. This is what we did back in the day in college. It was no 12-ouncer or 16-ouncer. It was the deuces, either the 22 or the 40, Evan. Do you remember back in the day?
Back in the day.
Did you go 40 ounce? Did you ever go 40 ounce of Old Gold, Old English 800? Or did you go more of a Slits Malt liquor, a Coke 45? You could drink other beer, but why take chances?
That's what I'm saying, Lo. Man, you are on fire early. I'm telling you. You got to get on down here. It's a great party. It's a great time. We even got 2 dogs today. I brought mine. Someone brought a corgi.
Yes.
Everyone is just enjoying it. We got cornhole in the back. We got a football toss. There's a couple great prizes that people are giving away, too. We got a lot of level drinks here, hydration, balance, recovery, a couple of these out here.
Yes.
You can come on down and get some. So if you're getting ready for the Niners game, there's obviously a shuttle that is free this week that will be taking people to the game. There's still time to sign up. Limited space, though, so go to 957thegame.com. The Kickoff Show graphic, get your spot. If you're headed down here, stop by Laughing Monk Brewing. Watch some of the 10 a.m. games. A lot of great games we're going to get into.
Yeah.
And, of course, the San Francisco 49ers.
No question, man. And I did just hear down at Laughing Monk, man, it's just a great family environment. People are enjoying themselves. The great thing is, like you said, you can park here in the parking lot, have a couple beers before the game, get nice and lubed up, head over on the bus, head down to the stadium, Levi's, check it out, enjoy the ride, and just enjoy football today. I mean, you watched some great college yesterday.
My goodness.
What was your thoughts? I know we're going to get NFL. We got 3 hours.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it all.
We're going to talk about it all. When you watch Oregon and you see the Nippy Lions going to all white, it was all white. It was a sold-out white game. It was unbelievable. What were you thinking? Was that the game that your eyes were on? Did you enjoy that game? Were you not entertained?
That was the game of the year, and it was as advertised. That was an incredible game. That was hard fought. I know it was 3-3 at half. Some people don't like that, the low-scoring kind of games. That was old-school smash-mouth football, man. That is the kind of football that I enjoy watching. Hard defense, tough road game for Oregon, goes to overtime. They find a way to overcome. And I got to tell you what, it's funny. So the place that we watched the Week 1 game at, Golden Gate Tap Room, we were there last night, same spot, same place, watching, having a great time. So many Ducks fans, also some Penn State fans, but back and forth, the energy. It's one of those weekends, to be honest, Lo, where there's great football Saturday, great football Sunday, and I think a lot of these people probably enjoyed the game too.
No question, man. It's just something about football. I mean, you got basketball season. Of course, you got the Dubs, and everyone loves the Warriors. The NBA, you got Major League Baseball. We get that.
No doubt.
But something about the NFL and college football, what is it, Evan? What is it? When you're watching a pro game, a college game, what makes football? I know you and I, we get really excited about this time of the year. Fans get excited about this time of year. Your Niners are in the thick of things. If you 0-3, you think your season's over. You're already ready to rebuild, tear down the team. When you look at the Niners and just think about the NFL and the state of football, what makes football such a dominant sport?
It's the healthiest narcotic in the world. I mean, it's the healthiest narcotic in the world. Everyone gets them some of football, inject it right into their veins, comes back for more every 7 days. It's just how it works. And so that's what I think. It's something that I feel like everyone can understand. It's a language we all speak because every single week is the Super Bowl. To your point, the San Francisco 49ers are a team that is 3-0. They're feeling high. They're riding high. They're feeling mighty. And they have a chance to go 4-0 today against a Jacksonville team that we'll get into, but certainly is a team that they can and I believe should beat. But the point is, every single week is so important because if the Niners had lost, maybe one, maybe two, maybe all three. They've won 3 games by 10 points combined. If they had lost a couple of those games, to your point, Lo, we would be feeling a lot different about the state of affairs with the Niners. They lost Nick Bosa for the season. The quarterbacks have been in and out and injured. You got Brandon Ayuk still who's on IR. They faced a lot of injuries, but the record has people feeling so good about what the season can become because of how much they've already had to go through.
No question. The adversity that this team has been through, the San Francisco 49ers, and your San Francisco 49ers, I think it's unprecedented. This is a team that you look at, that not that you say, okay, this is just a bad year. No, they could have cowered down. They could have tucked their tails between the legs and said, woe is me, Purdy's out. Brandon Ayuk's done. We got Kittle hurt already, week 1. And you're playing against teams that you're like, oh, my goodness, this team shouldn't win. You go into Seattle, you find a way. You play against Arizona, find a way. You're finding ways. Saints, you won that game. This team, how close, in your opinion, could this team be 0-3? That's the thing. I don't think people are putting enough on this. Put some respect on this. You very well could be 0-3, but instead you're 3-0.
Well, and that's why the margins are so thin for success, for defeat, and the San Francisco 49ers have made the winning plays.
They have.
For example, last week against Arizona, yes, they only won that game by 1 point, and we've talked about it, not to be a broken record, that's not a game they win last year.
No.
Last season, that is a game where they fold, whether it's at the end of the game, sometime in the second half, but they haven't. And the fact that they were able to do it with a backup quarterback, Mac Jones making a 40-yard dot on 4th and 2 down to Ricky Pearsall, who seems to be an emerging young wide receiver. They've had guys making plays all over the field, and they've done it in winning time.
Yeah, I thought that one third down play was just pretty amazing how Pearsall and how your quarterback, Jones, what he was able to do on a bomb leg. Here's a guy out there playing and keeping his team, putting it on him, shouldering himself. He knows that Brock was injured. This guy put the team on his shoulders, and when they needed it most, they found a way. And that's why I always talk about complementary football, and I think that the Niners are playing complementary football, that when you see they had to stop. Arizona had an opportunity to run the clock out.
Mm-hmm.
They missed that big third down pass.
Yep.
Cal was trying to hit a guy. Defense closed on that, knocked the ball away to set up the offense to give them the chance to be able to win the game. If your defense doesn't do that, you don't have the opportunity. You don't give Mac Jones the opportunity. But that's a defense that believes that, hey, look, if we give our offense one more chance, because we just gave up a safety, and we're like, oh, my goodness. Gave up the safety. You're thinking,
Yeah.
okay, both teams are having a hard time struggling. This could be the ball game. Oh my goodness, you saw this team say, okay, we don't care. We gave up that safety, but we're going to still go out and score a touchdown and go out and score and get in field goal position to win the game. That's what I talk about this Niners team. They're playing complementary football. Their defense has been really the strong point. You have not allowed a team to reach 20 the whole year in 3 games. It's hard, though, and that's one thing, Evan. It's hard to continue to do that on a consistent basis. It's going to be interesting just to see when is this offense going to show us the firepower that we know that it's capable of, or when is this offense going to get you at least 27 to 30? Because I don't know if it's fair to say defense continue to hold teams under 20. I think this is a tough way to win games, and it's a tough sledding, and I don't think it's sustainable. There's another team that you and I both like that's playing the same way, but often showing a little bit more, but the Chargers.
Yeah.
Their defense is playing great, but you have to score points eventually. You can't ask your defense to be able to play that well week in and week out.
One, I think a team right now that obviously a lot of 49ers fans don't like has been playing with fire that way for more than a year. That's the Kansas City Chiefs. Their defense has been fantastic, but their offense, even with Patrick Mahomes, has looked absolutely subpar. And it's bit them in the butt more times this year, obviously, than last season when they won, 10 straight one-score games. You can't live like that in the NFL and expect to continue to find ways. Yes, it's magical. Yes, you got to give them credit, no doubt. But to your point, you would like to see a little more effort from the offense, just some more points being put up on the board because the defense has carried them thus far.
Yeah, and like you said, I don't think it's lack of effort and lack of execution. It's just little things. It's, a breakdown here. It's a breakdown there. And the injuries, we know the injuries have really plagued them and not able to, do the things they need to do because of the injuries. So it's just going to see when can this offense, when are they going to have all the tools to be able to score, because this game starts to get harder and harder each week. Offenses start to catch up. We know defense are usually ahead of the offenses, but it's a matter of time, and some of these offenses are going to take off. I want to see this offense be one of the ones that take off first.
Well, and they're going to get some help, obviously, in the quarterback category because Brock Purdy is expected to start today, according to Kyle Shanahan. So his 2-week turf toe injury comes to an end. Probably not going to be 100%, though. And it's interesting because, I do wonder if they're going to show us, maybe not this week, not next week, the week after, when are they going to look whole? I think it's going to take some time because Juwan Jennings, who missed last game, might not play today is a game-time decision. Ricky Pearsall will be back, but he's a little banged up, was limited in practice this week. They're slowly beginning to get pieces back. George Kittle will come off the IR in a couple of weeks. At that point, I think you're going to be able to make an assessment. But that's why one thing that I've really wondered, Lo, is how are even able to make a determination about this team outside of the fact that they're 3-0, because there's been so many moving parts with this football team, and the quarterback position, all right, you get that right. But are you going to have your tight end? No. Are you going to have your wide receiver too? Maybe. So it's difficult for me to look at the offense. You'd like them to produce more, but it's hard for me to make a determination about them right now.
It really is, and my same sentiments is when you look at this team, you're like, well, it's hard to judge this team and just automatically say, oh, they're done, or they're not going to score points this year, because you don't have the best tight end in the league on the field, George Kittle. You haven't had, your quarterback, Brock Purdy, MVP, and what he did. You don't have that guy. You have lost some weapons. You don't have, Brandon Ayuk, who's an emerging superstar. So you don't have, some huge offensive firepower on offense. So it's hard to determine, can this team and will this team be a team that lights up the scoreboard? And so I think that we do have to temper expectations and say, we got to wait and see what happens.
No doubt. And again, Brock Purdy is cleared and will start today for the San Francisco 49ers as they take on the Jacksonville Jaguars, a team that's 2-1. The Niners are 3-0. And I think that this, and we're going to get more into it, obviously, between now and kickoff at 1:05 here at Levi's Stadium. We are at Laughing Monk getting you set for Niners football. I think that this is an important stretch of the season, right? Because you had your first 3 games. You did 2 of them with your backup quarterback, couple of games on the road. You obviously won all 3 of them. But now begins a stretch where you play Jacksonville, you get the Rams on a short week, and then you get Tampa Bay right after that. These are 3 games to me that are difficult contests. Jacksonville is a much improved squad under their new head coach, Liam Cohen. Trevor Lawrence is healthy. This is a team that has shown an ability to run the football better than they have in years past. And then obviously you have the Rams, so you can't overlook Jacksonville. To me, this is a game where if you're able to win and go into those next 2 weeks, then not to say you don't want to win those games, but that's a position where if you are challenging for the division and the Rams are right on your heels, you are in first place in the NFC West. This is a game that you kind of have to get.
Yeah, I think no doubt. We were talking about the Jacksonville Jaguars, and they're playing pretty good football. I can't say that, hey, look, this is a layup. This is a team that's fighting. They're fighting as well. They're off to a decent start, 2-1. So this is a game that you need to find a way to win. You got Brock Purdy back, but you're absolutely right. When you look at the next 2 games that this Niner team is going, the opposition that they're going to face, it's going to be tough. You're playing a Rams team that that you're going to have to bring your big boy pads, and guys going to have to be healthy because the Rams you need to try to win that game. You're going to try to win that game, but if something goes awry, that's why we're talking about why this game is so big. You want to win every game, but let's win the games you're supposed to win. This is a game you're playing at home. You got to find a way, despite injuries, despite anything and all those other things are surrounding you. You got to find a way to win, and that's what this team. Kudos to this team. Kudos to the coaching staff. Kudos to these men, because what they've done thus far the last 3 weeks, they have found a way to put themselves in position to win the game. Win it at the end on a winning drive, play complimentary football. Meaning the defense had to play great to get the ball back in order for the offense to win. So they played great on both sides. If defense don't make a stop against Seattle, Seattle runs out the clock. If defense doesn't make a stop against Arizona, Arizona runs off the clock. But when they make the stop, then you say, so defense did their job. And this is what I'm talking about, complimentary football. Defense does their job against Seattle, gives the Niners offense an opportunity with the ball. You had a sack by Bosa against when you played against Seattle.
Yeah.
So now, defense, what does it? Give the ball to offense. Offense drives, wins the game in Seattle. Arizona, defense has that big third down stop. They punt the ball. The Niners have to drive down, get in field goal position to win the game. So both sides of the ball played complementary football to win the game. And then the third part that I always talk about, I say offense counts as a third, defense counts as a third, and special teams counts as a third. Special teams, you had a kicker go out there and nail the field goal to put the game over with no time on the clock. But it's interesting how you have to win football games, and you have to be good in all 3 phases. And watching that Niner game, as I digress, watching that Niner game the other day, there was a chance when the safety happened, I'm telling you, you could have easily said, special teams lost this game. Because I know Boyer, who he is, played against him, know his brother, played with his brother at Fresno State. Darren, his brother. I know Brent Boyer have told guys, you get to the 10-yard line, and you wave fair catch, but you let that ball go. If it's over the 10, you don't back up for it. You let it go in the end zone. And those are those little things that could have cost this team a football game, because if he lets that ball go on the 5-yard line or the 2-yard line and it bounces in the end zone, they get the ball on the 35 or 25.
Yeah.
But instead of catching that on the 2, the next play, what does it lead to? A safety. So it goes to show you how integral knowing every part of every nuance of the game in order to win football games.
No, I do think that the calling card of the San Francisco 49ers team has been details. I think this is a much more detail-oriented team. And that's why you're seeing them win these close margin games. You're seeing them not make the big mistake that felt like plagued them so much last year, where they just could not get a big play. They could not make sometimes the little plays, and they seem to be doing it all right now. Now, I got to ask you, because one guy who you mentioned who helped them make a big impact, helped them win the game against Seattle, Nick Bosa, is not going to be on the field for the rest of the season. Obviously, tore his ACL against Arizona, out for the year now. That's one thing that does give me some pause about, okay, well, how good is this defense without arguably its best player? We know Fred Warner is all-time, future Hall of Famer. We know that Diamondor Lenore has been an awesome cornerback, blanketing opposing wide receivers. But Nick Bosa is a former Defensive Player of the Year. He's a top 5 edge rusher at his position. He's the highest paid player on your defense for a reason, the highest paid player outside of the quarterback. And you're not going to have him for the rest of the season. What kind of impact does Nick Bosa's absence now have on this football team?
It has a huge absence on this football team. Nick Bosa, like you said, one of the elite pass rushers, you don't have him on your team. But I'll tell you what, man, not just not having Nick Bosa, you already had to manufacture pass rush. Even when Nick Bosa was on the team, he made plays when he had to make plays, when the team needed him most. The strip fumble against Seattle, that was big. But if you just think about this team, the Niners team, it hasn't been getting after the quarterbacks. They only got Kyler Murray like once or twice. This team has not been able to put pressure on the quarterback. It's just been playing great secondary, and they've been playing great fundamentally football. So you're talking about a team that hasn't played great as far as a pass rush and getting after the quarterback. It has not played great yet this year. So it's going to be interesting now not having Nicky Bosa. Who is the guy? What is this team going to do? What is Robert Saleh going? How is he going to manufacture pressure? Because you already did not have a great pass rushing team, even with Nicky Bosa. So, but you won. And so that's the thing. You won. And so everyone says, oh, you got to get sacks. Well, you know what? You still find a way to win. So they have found a way to win. So that's the thing. I know we like to see sacks because now it's 2nd and 30 or 2nd and 15, 2nd and 20, and so forth and so forth. But if it's not going to happen, you just got to continue to play football the way you're playing football.
And I mean, the thing about it too is, like, obviously we're going to find out today. You know, does it hurt them more against the pass? Does it hurt them more against the run? You know, this is an opportunity now for a Michael Williams, a lot of those younger defensive linemen to step up and show out. I just wonder too, Lo, you know, how much of their productivity, for example, Williams, he's looked really good the last 2 weeks. How much of that is due to the presence of a Nick Bosa? He makes everyone's job so much easier, and the fact that he's no longer on the field, has he been the best edge rusher in the game like he was a couple of years ago? No, I don't think that he's necessarily, and unfortunately because of his injury, he's lived up to that contract that he signed just yet. Not his fault, non-contact, but he's going to be out for the season. But it doesn't take away from the fact that this 49ers team is going to miss him. And
without a doubt, you're going to miss this guy.
But, I mean, like when Robert Saleh is calling him a closer, that I agree with wholeheartedly. But in a lot of these games, they've had one or two closers make a play to help them win. Bosa week 1, Huff week 2. Week 3 was Mac Jones and special teams getting Kyler Murray off the field. The defense did a great job. Upton Stout was the one who knocked the ball away from Zay Jones on that 3rd down. You know, with one less closer, I wonder if that's going to be the difference in some of these tight games that they found a way to win.
Yeah, I don't know, and only time will tell. I think it's going to be interesting just to see what this front office and John Lynch, what these guys are going to do, because right now you're in the thick of things, and you know you lost your closer, and he's gone for the year. It's unmutable, it's unchangeable. Nothing you can do that's going to get back Nicky Bosa. So now, what can you do as an organization, as a front office, to say, we have to go out and find someone on the streets or find someone via trade, because you're in this thing. Whether you want to believe it or not, you're in this thing. So I wouldn't be surprised if this team in the front office looked to pick someone up, or make a trade to get another pass rusher, maybe someone that's on a 1-year deal that's got 1 year left, that's a big-time pass rusher, because you got to have some type of pass rush, especially you're going to need that in November and December.
Especially, yeah, and look, we are a couple of weeks away, obviously, and months from, you know, having those decisions possibly be made. But I agree with you that the more games you win, the more pressure is on that front office to go out and get someone to help this football team, because you never know when a door is going to be open you never know when a door is going to be shut. I think a lot of people coming into this season felt like the Niners were done.
Yeah.
They're not going to be a team that's going to compete. You know, they're second, third fiddle in the division. They're coming
I did.
I did too.
You and I, for week one, I said, hey, man, it's the Rams. And I said, then you and I was like, God, after the Rams, if quarterback stays healthy, it's the Rams. But after that, you said, okay, who's going to be? Seattle, Arizona. So, and bless God Almighty, the Niners have come out smoking and finding a way to win. They're undefeated, 2 games, beat 2 of the teams in your conference. So, yeah, now you're in this thing. Like you said, a door can close and a door can open. The door is open for this San Francisco 49er team. You have to look at this and say, the door is open. We got to find a way to keep it open in order for us to get what we think we can get.
No, I agree. And it's like just because a player goes down, and this is a team that is young, a team that, look, you reset the books this summer. You're obviously trying to figure, okay, we got to pay the quarterback next year. How can we figure out? This is a season that is looking like it could be something potentially special for the 49ers. If they win this game today, they are 4-0. That is nothing to scoff at, especially when you got the Rams on a short week. This is a football team that is going to be tested in the near future, and I think the fact that they're playing Jacksonville, the Rams, the Buccaneers, 3 above 500 teams in succession is going to let us know, number one, a lot about the Niners, but also, 2, okay, are they a piece away? You know, is Nick Bosa's absence, could they replace him possibly with a Trey Hendrickson from Cincinnati, who's on a 1-year deal, is going to have to get paid after the season, but would you be willing to give up draft capital to try and maximize that position and maximize this season? You know, I think just like logically coming into this year, I felt like, well, the Niners they're not close, but they're also not at the bottom of the barrel. So this will be kind of a transition season. We'll figure out how close they are. But now it's quickly, with every single win, looking more and more like you might have to get greedy this year.
Yeah.
And I just, especially with Bosa going down, I do think the furnace gets a little hotter on the front office the more they win football games.
It does. And you know what? We're having a conversation about hypotheticals and a conversation about the future and about the presence. And it makes sense because you have to realize your Nicky Bosa is one of the highest paid defensive linemen in this year in the league, which rightfully so. And you have to also realize, take in consideration that how much longer is this guy going to play on this level now with 2 knees, same knee, torn. Yep. You got now another surgery. So you got to look at this too and like, where do we go? Is this guy going to is this guy? Are we going to restructure? What are we going to do? How do you? Because this game doesn't love you. It doesn't love the player. It loves what you can do. I just think that, especially with injuries, you know, we're looking at the Chargers. You already lost your best tackle in the league, and now you might have lost another great tackle in Joe Alt. When you think about what this league, how brutal this game can be, very tough.
It just is. I mean, injuries change a season. They obviously change a game, but can change the shape of careers. You're absolutely right. Someone like Nick Bosa, we may never see him at his best again because you have the second ACL, one that he partially tore in high school. He's already torn his other ACL. How much great football does he have left? He's going to be a great player. He's going to be obviously one of the best at his position, you hope, but we may never see that DPOY level Nick Bosa again, and that's the unfortunate part about the NFL.
Yeah, because you got to bend, you got to be able to get low, you got to be able to take on blocks, you got to do a lot of things, you got to put that leg in the ground. There's a lot of torque and a lot of things that go on those ligaments, those ACL, MCL, PCL, and all those different things, especially with the knees, and it's tough. Because a lot of guys, you know it, and I know it, it's hard sometimes to recover 100% with those knees. And that's just with one time you maybe could recover 100, but then the second and third, it's tough, man. Especially with a guy that plays with that much torque, he's got to get off, he's going to get grabbed, he's going to get held. That's tough, very tough.
All right, we are right here at Laughing Monk Brewing in Sunnyvale for the kickoff show. We got great food, great drinks, great games in the parking lot. A free shuttle that's going to come by in a little bit, scooping everyone up that's going to Levi's Stadium. It'll take you there. It'll bring you back. It's a free shuttle. Still some spots left on the second bus, but space is limited, and it's filling up very fast. So go to 957thegame.com right now. Click on the kickoff show graphic. Click on the Eventbrite link to sign up today. It will be here for every single home game. We are here 3 hours before 10 a.m. until 1 o'clock when the San Francisco 49ers take on the Jacksonville Jaguars, trying to remain undefeated, trying to move to 4-0. And Evan Giddings and Lorenzo Neal will have you locked and loaded all morning long. So come down, join us, have a pop. Again, 1235 Oak Mead right here in Sunnyvale, Laughing Monk Brewing. It's the place to be. It's a fantastic outing, of course, with lots of great people. Purdy jerseys, Kittle jerseys, San Francisco 49ers fans galore, and a lot more coming up next when we return here on the Kickoff Show, live from Laughing Monk Brewing on 95.7 The Game.
Let's go!
Hi, I'm Dustin, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. I know finding a dream engagement ring can be overwhelming, but don't worry, we got you. As director of diamond sourcing, it's my job to make sure every single diamond at Shane Company is truly the best of the best. Our team travels the world to see diamonds up close, in person. We handpick each one for its unique fire, brilliance, and scintillation. Diamond buying is an art. Of course, we look at cut, color, clarity, and carat, known as the 4 C's, but that's not all. We also look at how each diamond looks on a hand, where it will be worn, how it makes you feel, and if it's worthy of a Shane Company customer. That type of expertise only comes from working for a company that's been a family business since 1929. We also think about your budget. We only pick the best in each grade in all shapes and sizes. Your diamond is guaranteed to be the most beautiful because a friend wants you to pick from only the best. Drop by your store or shaneco.com and see for yourself. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Hey, it's Joe Shasky here for Ceremony Ford, and let me keep it real with you. If you've been thinking about making the switch to an electric ride, now is the time to pull the trigger because Ceremony Ford in Colma is ending the summer with some heat. So check this out. Slide into a brand new 2025 Mustang Mach-E for just $225 a month on a lease. That's right, $225 a month for 36 months. Or if you're ready to buy, lock in 0% APR financing for 72 months and grab a $2,000 rebate. Who else is giving you that? Only Ford. But here's the kicker. The federal EV tax credits on Mach-E and the F-150 Lightning are about to expire September 30th. You wait, you lose. Don't let Uncle Sam keep your money. Ceremony Ford has one of the biggest inventories in Northern California, and they're ready to hook you up. Find them right off at 280 in Colma or online 24/7 at ceremonyford.com. That's Ceremony Ford, the Bay Area's Mach-E superstore. Tell them Butcher sent you.
Score big by saving lives with Stanford Blood Center. Donate blood between September 1st through the 30th and be automatically entered for a chance to win 2 club-level seats to the ultimate Sunday night showdown, San Francisco versus Atlanta at Levi Stadium. It's your chance to make a difference and experience the game like never before from premium seats with an unbeatable view. Every donation helps patients in need and brings you one step closer to the end zone. Learn more at stanfordbloodcenter.org/touchdown.
I knew that I was not living the life that I wanted to live. Buprenorphine, it gave me the time and space to take life one step at a time. I am living proof that recovery is possible.
Get treatment. It works. Learn more. Visit livingproofsf.org.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-390-1164. 800-390-1164. 800-390-1164.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Some people just know you can save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check the weather first, before wearing face paint to the game.
Bro, your Go Cats is dripping into your nachos.
Oh, and now paint is in my eyes.
Interception. Did you see that?
No.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first and see what you could save. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Potential savings vary, including based on how you buy, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Join 95.7 The Game at Pier 39 for a special live broadcast from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturday, October 4th. Meet Zaza Pachulia, Festus Ezeli, Kalina Azubuike, Tim Roy, and Bonte Hill. Plus, enter to win Warriors tickets. For more info, visit 957thegame.com.
Now back to the Kickoff Show on 95.7 The Game.
Yes, sir. Evan Giddings, Lorenzo Neal. We got Lucas in the house, Kalia, Sam, everyone here at Laughing Monk Brewing, live before the San Francisco 49ers take on the Jacksonville Jaguars here in Week 4. And he might have to crack the mic. Did you know, Lo, that it is Cameron Williams, our own Cameron Williams? It is his born day. It is his birthday.
Cam, what's up, baby? You didn't even tell me it was your birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Cameron. Happy birthday to you.
Ooh.
What's up, dog? Happy birthday, bro.
Cam, crack the mic.
Crack the mic, baby.
You. I love the vocals on it. That was nice and clean. I was expecting a freestyle, too.
Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Okay,
yes, sir. Cam, seriously, thank you for all your hard work, buddy. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
All right.
What the Niners need, they got to deliver. Now they have to win. It's Cam's birthday. Bang,
That's what
bang.
I'm saying.
I know you boys are in the locker room, at the stadium, getting taped, getting ready to go warm up and stuff. You guys better win. Cam's birthday today. Let's go. Bang, bang, Niner gang.
We need a dub. It is his birthday. The San Francisco 49ers, I think, are also in a position where, you know, it's funny. Despite the amount of injuries, and look, we talked about it in the first segment. We're seeing injuries all across the league. Backup quarterbacks galore. One loss today earlier in Dublin. Carson Wentz of the Minnesota Vikings went down, nearly brought the Vikings back against the Pittsburgh Steelers. We're seeing backups all over the place. It's not that injuries aren't a factor, but in this game that you know so well, Lo, it's hard to look around and then say, well, the Niners are dealing with more or less injuries. There's no excuses. Like, this is a game that it feels like, because of what they've shown so far through 3 weeks, that I'm expecting them to win. It's the same situation where Week 2, we talked about it, Mac Jones can win you that football game. Last week against Arizona, much tighter, obviously. That was a game I believe they could and should win. I feel the exact same today about this Jacksonville team.
Yeah, I look at Arizona, and you watch the way that the Arizona Cardinals played the football game. James Conner, let's be honest, that's a big loss to that Arizona
100%.
Cardinals team. You saw it this past Thursday night when they struggled against Seattle. You saw that game go back and forth. You've seen special teams. You and I were talking about all types of things about football. You look at that game. Arizona battles back to tie the game up, and what does your kicker do? He doesn't get it inside the mark, and now the ball starts on the 40-yard line. They get 2 plays, kick a field goal. That's not a way to lose a football game, and that's what I think that's why you seen the frustration with Kyle Shanahan, and why that's why the field goal kicker was no longer there, is because these aren't ways you lose games. You at least. Look, if you got a 60 or 70-yard field goal, okay, miss it. 58, in the 50s, okay, you can have. But you're talking chip shots and certain things you can't do. When you're talking about you just battled back and now you don't put the ball inside the line of play for the return has to do it. Those you don't give your chance you don't give your team a true chance to win that football game. You can't do that. And that's when you look at Niners and you look at the way that they're playing football now. They're giving each side of the ball, each side an opportunity to win football games. Defense won that football game by getting a 3-and-out for Arizona to say, let's stop them. Let's find a way to stop them. They won that game. Offense took what they gave and said, now let's go win it. So when you are able to do that, and that's what we're talking about, this Niner team, what they've been able to do thus far in these 3 weeks, the way that they have manufactured scores, points, the way that they play defense, the way that they've bent but they haven't broken, the way that they've allowed only teams to score under 20, and then the way that your offense says, okay, look, if we're going to do that, we can't turn the ball over a lot. We got to make sure we play field position. We got to make sure our punting team, our kicking team, all those other things are tightened up and buttoned up because we're not scoring the way that we know that we can't score. So I like the way that they're playing. I thought Arizona was a great match. Arizona, and if you look at the way that Arizona played Seattle last week, this Arizona team is not a bad team. It's a pretty fair team because Seattle's playing good football. You saw the way Seattle beat up on the Steelers.
Yeah.
Seattle's playing good football. So you say what you want. The Niners aren't scoring. We get that. But you can't say that this team, they're just playing some bombs and playing some horrible teams. They're playing some pretty competitive teams.
No, and every single week, to your point about the Seattle Seahawks, that Week 1 victory in Seattle looks better and better for the 49ers. And that's why today, with Brock Purdy being back, I'm excited to see if this offense picks up right where it left off, of course, when he got hurt with turf toe. Now, they only put up 17 points. I think a big reason for that, and something I'm beginning to not necessarily question, but just more keep my eyes on, is they haven't really been able to run the football that well. That's one thing that has me feeling a little iffy about this offense because Kyle Shanahan's calling card is running the football. I think he's somebody that would much rather run it 40 times than throw it 40 times. But the last 2 weeks, Mac Jones has been a quarterback that has thrown at an average of 40 times per game. So do you think it's because, well, it's a backup quarterback, we want him to beat us as opposed to McCaffrey? Do you think that it's an issue to do with some of the the changing parts of the offensive line, George Kittle potentially being out? I think it's kind of a mixture of those factors, a cocktail, if you will, of those factors. But one thing that I'm curious about today is with Brock Purdy being back, is he going to be asked to throw it as much as he did Week 1 and as much as Mac Jones has the last 2 weeks?
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, if you can't run the ball, you got to throw it. And that's the only reason this team is throwing the ball as much as they're throwing it. They're throwing it that much. It's a simple fact because you're getting beat up front. And somewhere in the offensive line, there's breakdowns.
Yeah.
Teams you're stopping the run. McCaffrey's getting hit in the backfield. You have tried to run the ball on 3rd and 2. You tried to run the ball on 2nd and 2. And you've been coming up short. So when that happens, you have to say, we have to go to the air, and that's what they've been doing. They've been throwing a ball, putting the ball in the air a lot, quite often, because of the fact they have not been able to run the ball with any type of consistency. So I don't think you're going to see anything change. Now, they're going to run the ball, and if they have success, then they'll continue to run the ball. But if they're not having success, I can see this team throwing the ball 30, 40 times again today.
Well, and that's why, we're talking about the sustainability of the Niners. I do think that if they're not able to run the football with effectiveness, they're eventually going to run into trouble. I don't know if that's going to be this week against Jacksonville, could be on the short week in L.A. against the Rams. Heck, could be the week after against Tampa Bay. At some point, to me, it's going to come back to bite them. I also think that at some point they're going to have a game where McCaffrey breaks one and it has a 100-yard game. Brian Robinson might be able to break one. They're going to have a game where they average, 4 or 5 on the ground, which they have not done through the first 3 weeks. And so I'm kind of looking at Shanahan and wondering, all right, well, is he comfortable with his quarterback putting the ball in the air this much? I think he is with Brock Purdy, and I was surprised at how comfortable it felt like he looked calling plays for Mac Jones because Mac, I thought, especially after injuring his knee, coming back into the game against Arizona, they put a lot of pressure on him, Arizona did, and Mac stood in the pocket, delivered the football, and did enough for them to win those 2 games back-to-back. So I think that Kyle Shanahan is asking for more from his run game, but the fact that he has enough comfort in his quarterbacks makes me feel secure in the fact that, all right, if they're throwing the ball a lot in the past, typically it's because the Niners were not faring well. They're throwing the ball a lot, and they're still winning games.
Yeah, I think today we'll get to see how is Purdy. I think that's for me to make a determination on the success of the running game. How does Purdy move? How is Purdy being able to move? And when you do some boots, can he get outside the pocket? Can he scramble? Can he get out on the edge?
Yep.
Because if Purdy now can make that long stretch and and McCaffrey's hitting it to the outside, the backside line, the defensive end, he's got to crash and come down because he's got to stop the cutback of McCaffrey. And if McCaffrey's having success, then Purdy pulls that thing, and now that defense is crashing, and now Purdy has the outside to run or throw. Now you make him two-dimensional. So I think a lot of it's predicated on how these two work together. If Purdy pulls this thing a couple times, that end, the defensive end and linebacker, they got to stay wide. They got to cover every blade of grass. And now if you do hand off, the backside becomes the front side because now you can cut the ball back because the defensive end is playing a wide 9 and he has contained. So I think that can help the running game get going. I'm not saying that it will because against Seattle, it didn't help when Purdy was healthy. So now it's going to be interesting to see how well Purdy can orchestrate this offense. How well is it the turf toe? Can he pull the ball? Can he do the boots? Now you make that defense cover every blade of grass. And if he can get outside of that wide 9, now you're as a defense, you're in a whole well of hurt because now your safety's got to come up. Now guys have to pass guys off. Receivers are going to be running free because he got outside the pocket, and you have more time outside of the pocket. So that is going to determine if the run game is going to take off, which we know this run game has huge amount of potential. We know what McCaffrey can do. It doesn't seem like McCaffrey has lost a step. He's shown his explosiveness. You see what he's doing in the passing game. That screen last week, what he was able to do to close the game out, to get in field goal range. So you can't say McCaffrey's hurt. Well, McCaffrey's calf or McCaffrey's not running. No, McCaffrey is being McCaffrey. He just doesn't have the holes and doesn't have the ability, don't have the lanes to be able to do what McCaffrey does.
And when he's in space, I think he's shown that he can still make guys miss. He can obviously still pick up yards. I do think it's interesting that they've used him more as, it feels like a wide receiver even, than a running back. Because, I think Shanahan recognizes how important it is to keep McCaffrey upright. I think McCaffrey realizes that if he's going to play 17 games this season or somewhere close to, that he's got to take, not the foot off the gas pedal, but he cannot go, basically he's a Ferrari with 200,000 miles on it. You're not going to be able to press him all the time and just get 100% out of him.
Is this team good enough without McCaffrey to take the foot off the gas?
They have been so far.
Okay,
they have been so far.
McCaffrey's touched the ball every game over 20 times. Whether it's passing, whether it's receiving, whether it's running the ball, whether it's rushing the ball. I think McCaffrey's touched the ball. Think about what he's done. I mean, his usage rate.
Yeah, 31 in week 1.
Yeah, so I don't think that his usage rate is down. I look at McCaffrey as they've been using him. He's catching 5 to 10 balls a game.
He got 11 targets last week.
So when you're saying they're good enough to not use him, to use him sparingly, I just don't know. What do you?
Well, it's not that they're not using him, but to me, I think that the hits that he's taking as a receiver or a pass catcher are less vicious than running him between the tackles and allowing him to just get piled up on. I mean, to me, the touches are not created equal. He's still impactful, and he's still getting the ball a lot. It seems to me, Lo, that one of the ways of keeping him upright for a season is going to be, okay, let's get him in space. If he needs to run out of bounds, he doesn't have to seek contact all the time. What he does as a running back.
Oh yeah, no, I totally agree. So you're just saying, hey, look, they rather throw the ball to him. That's like a sweep.
Especially because you haven't been able to run the football anyways.
Right.
So let's get him out in space. Let's see if he can make someone miss.
Yeah,
pick up yards that way.
Yeah, you're right. And it takes less pounding when he's out in space and you throw the ball. Like you said, he can make a linebacker or safety miss. So I do like what they're doing when it comes to that for McCaffrey, to say, look, let's try to use this guy. Let's not try to run him into a wall. Let's try to get him out in space and let him create the opportunities. So I do understand what you're saying in that regard. I think it's less punishment, like you said, but I don't think it's less usage. Now, the good thing about it, it's less brutal hits. It's less him running in there with the trees and the big boys. It's him getting out and taking shots from safeties and cornerbacks. That's a lot different than linemen and linebackers.
I mean, I also think it's interesting, too, that you think about, we were talking about this yesterday. I was talking about this with a buddy. In 2023, McCaffrey only caught the ball think it was 68 times. He only had 68 receptions the whole season.
Wow.
He's on pace for 130 receptions this year. And I don't know if it's because they haven't been able to run the football as well, but they still obviously got to get him touches. It's much easier just to dump him off and effectively get 4, 5, 6 yards that way, or potential explosive like you saw against Seattle, like you saw in that final drive against the Arizona Cardinals. So I don't know if it's because they haven't been able to run the ball as well, but it's just interesting to me that McCaffrey's a guy that he's caught 100 balls before. He's had 1,000 yards as a receiver, but I'm just kind of curious, why do you think it is that they've used him more as a pass catcher than it feels like ever before?
Oh, you're absolutely right. One is Brandon Ayuk's not there. Number two is a guy named Kittle's not here.
Yeah.
You got two guys that demand double teams. You have to put the safety on them, bracket coverage. Now you don't have those two guys. So McCaffrey right now is taking up the mantle.
Mm-hmm.
Because now you're not doubling necessarily tight ends, but now we got a bracket coverage on McCaffrey. You watch McCaffrey, he reads man or zone. He goes out sometime, and they got two guys on him, and he sits right between both of them, and they know where to go. McCaffrey is a receiver playing running back, and he's a running back playing receiver. This guy, and it's no pun and no slight at Debo, but he's probably a better receiver than Debo, and we know he's a better back than Debo.
Yeah.
And that says a lot, because Debo was special. You remember the run that this team went on, Debo playing receiver and running back, and he went in there and absolutely just tore it up. He put the team on his back. That's who McCaffrey is. Think about what they do with McCaffrey. He's what Debo was and then some. He's that Army Swiss knife that can line up in slot. They line him up in slot. And he's running by safeties. He's doing everything that he needs to do. So I think that you asked the question. I think it's the latter. I think it's great that they're moving him all over the place and he's catching. And you're like, well, why? Because they can't run the ball. I don't know if it's that they can't run. I don't think that they run the ball as effective as they would like.
Mm-hmm.
But they're doing it because it's easier and less punishment, like you just alluded to, on his body. But it gives him opportunity to make big plays in the passing game. And why not do that? Because you make defenses say, we got to cover him, and and now you can't bring if he runs down that side, you don't bring the linebacker. You say, no, we got to get you to help, and we got to play bracket coverage, because if you do come, now he's a hot read, and now you put someone that's trying to run down and play safety. If you run full speed down to try to cover McCaffrey, you're going to look stupid. He's going to make you miss. But if you have the linebacker run out to an area and the safety comes down, now you got a better chance of containing him. So they're like, okay, if we bring this, and now you're saying, okay, who's going to cover him? If it's a safety or someone's coming down, that could be a miss, and then, you know what? I'll holla. So it can be a long run. So I think it's just interesting what he brings and the perspective that he brings to other DCs, because the defensive coordinators know that this guy can do some amazing things.
I also think, too, it's, this is a team that under Kyle Shanahan has always been synonymous with yards after catch.
Right.
Yeah. And because they don't have Kittle, because Debo is gone, and even last year was sort of a shell of his former self, they haven't really been able to find guys that can get you yards after the catch outside of a Christian McCaffrey. Ricky Pearsall has been good, but he's a guy that I think is – I don't know about you, but it feels like they've used him the way that Brandon Ayuk was used a couple of years ago. He's on pace for 1,400 yards, couple of 100-yard games in his first 3. In his second season, he's looked really good. But because there hasn't been someone – even Juwan Jennings, though he's been hurt, is not really a player that burns you after he gets the ball. Outside of the one play, of course, he had against New Orleans for the long touchdown. But it does feel like McCaffrey's the only player in this team that you could put the ball in his hands within 5 yards or less, or even behind the line of scrimmage, and he's someone that can create for himself. So that's another reason also why I feel like the ball's gone to his hands so much as a pass catcher is you look around the roster, and whether it's because of injury or because of personnel, there's not a ton of guys on this team, Lo, that are going to hurt you once the ball is in their hands.
No, they're not. Jennings, like you said, he'll beat you with the physicality. Ayuk was that guy that's slick, that can get open and make things happen and beat you. Kittle would hurt you with the ball in his hands, but he's not here, so you can't use Kittle. But you're absolutely right. Pearsall, when you think about what he can do, he's got great hands. He knows how to adjust to the ball. I like what this young man is doing, and I like that they're getting him involved and getting him involved a lot. Pearsall's very, very, very great hands, got great range, great radius, can pull in some passes. But yes, when he has it in his hands, can he hurt you and be dangerous? If he catches a streak, yes, he can go take. He's got the speed to take it. But I know what you're talking about. You're talking about that guy that can you can give him a 5-yard out, and he's going to miss. You're going to hold onto your drawers because you don't know the space, and guys play off of him. They respect McCaffrey for his speed, the one cut, and then one cut and get north and south. So yes, he is the player for the Niners, like you said, that has home run potential, and not just home run potential, but he can make plays even if you have him in the backfield because he's just that athletic.
Well, and that's the one thing we haven't seen a ton of from this offense are home run plays. Juwan Jennings' 46-yard catch against New Orleans, probably the only one.
Big play, yeah.
And I do wonder today, okay, so against Jacksonville, they got a pretty good defensive line. Brock Purdy, what is he at in terms of health? Is he at 75%? Is he at 95%? I think how elusive or how well he runs will give us a clue to that answer. But are they going to be able to pick up some chunk plays? I'm not sure if that's necessarily what this offense is built to do. I think, to your point earlier, they're a team that right now understands their path to victory is by playing complementary football, allowing their defense to keep them in games, their offense take the points when they're there, don't make mistakes, because if this team does not lose the turnover battle, they've turned the ball over, but they haven't lost the turnover battle yet. And to me, this is a football team that if they're in these kinds of games, there's a different confidence about them now with what they've done so far, that those are going to be games that they will win. And so the path to victory to me is not about, all right, how many home run plays can we hit? Is Christian McCaffrey going to break one today? Is Pearsall going to go for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns? That's not necessarily, I think, what their offense is looking at right now. Their offense is saying, okay, how are we going to put our defense in a good spot? Can our defense play aggressively? Can we keep time of possession? Can we keep them fresh? And then can our special teams help us not make a big mistake? That's where I feel like the San Francisco 49ers team is different than years past, because they don't necessarily have home run hitters, but they got a lot of guys that are good at getting on base.
Yeah, they do. Got a lot of guys that can get on base, get the base hit, and then, okay, bam, you get one run. And that's the thing that sometimes can be frustrating, is because you get base hit, you get one run, but then you still got 3 guys on base and no one brings them in.
Leave them on base,
exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what the Niners you see them, boom, it's a great drive and you can't get in the end zone. It's a great drive and you're one play from being in field goal range. So you just don't have that hitter to go ahead and get you over the hill that you're talking about to blow these games open. You got base hit, and then you got Mark McGuire and then you got freaking Mark or boy Barry Bonds up and then you got Barry Bonds up. Guess what happens? That next one, it's bases loaded, Barry Bonds is going to clear, and that's when you get that 7. And now instead of 3, it's 7. Now instead of 0, because you didn't get that home run, you got 0 instead of 3. So that's the difference, having the bases loaded and to have a finisher other than McCaffrey that can get you that 7, to get you that explosive play, to blow the game, to open the game. And that's what this team has not did thus far this year, is blow a game open. Has not opened the door and said, okay, we got to base it. Yep. Now we got the grand slam.
Well, we'll see if they can blow a game open today against Jacksonville. Obviously, a big game for them with the short week coming up against Los Angeles. They take on the Jaguars at 1 o'clock, and we got you locked and loaded until then here on the Kickoff Show, live at Laughing Monk Brewing here in Sunnyvale, 1235 Oakmead. Come on down before the game. Still time left to grab a pop, grab some food, and, of course, hop on the shuttle that is free, taking you from right here in Sunnyvale at Laughing Monk Brewing to the stadium and back. So you don't have to worry about dealing with the parking lot. You don't have to worry about dealing with any of that. Get on that free shuttle, which, of course, you can go to 957thegame.com, click on the Kickoff Show graphic, and then click on the Eventbrite link to sign up. Still some time left for today, and, of course, we'll be locked and loaded for every single home game here at Laughing Monk Brewing in Sunnyvale. That's Lorenzo O'Neill. My name is Evan Ginnick. We're going to step aside, come back after the break. We got to get into something about this legal sign stealing. Have you heard about this?
No, we got to get into it.
We got to talk about it. Is it legal? Is it illegal? what's going on with the Jacksonville Jaguars? Robert Saleh might have just opened up Pandora's box, so to speak, earlier this week. That's all coming up next on 95.7 The Game.
Red and Gold Game Day starts at Laughing Monk Brewing. Park for free. Enjoy amazing food, ice-cold beer, and every game on TV. Catch 95.7 The Game's pregame show. Then hop on the free shuttle straight to the stadium. Sign up now at 957thegame.com.
Coming to Freeman's Appliance in Pleasant Hill, September 26th through the 28th for their fall clearance sales event. Take advantage of one-of-a-kind opportunities at the Freeman's Appliance Fall Clearance Sales Event for the best time to save on new appliances for your home.
Tron Ares has arrived.
Hostiles. Repeat, we have hostiles. Mayday. Oh my God, there's hundreds of them.
On October 10th,
we came here from the digital world.
The war for our world begins.
What in God's name is that?
In IMAX.
This is the end to this world.
No, it's not. But I can help you.
Tron Ares, rated PG-13, may be inappropriate for children under 13. Only in theaters October 10th. Get tickets now.
You're on the list for Macy's Fall VIP Sale. That means you're invited to save big on this season's top designer looks at prices you'll love. Like an extra 30% off Calvin Klein, Steve Madden, Hugo Boss, and more. Plus, get 15% off beauty and fragrance from Estee Lauder, Lancome, and so many others. This only happens a few times a year. Don't miss the Fall VIP Sale. Today, only at Macy's. Savings off regular and already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
Hi, this is Brian Bakhtiari, Executive Manager of Stevens Creek Subaru. The fall season is upon us. That means football, baseball playoffs, and kids back in school. At Stevens Creek Subaru, this is one of our favorite times of the year. Fall is also when we get our first rains of the year. And that means dangerous road conditions. That is, unless you drive a Subaru with symmetrical all-wheel drive. Subarus are built for any road condition or terrain, whether it's a drive to the coast or up to the snow. The safest pick is a Subaru.
This month, lease a new 25 Crosstrek for just $239 per month. Just $239 a month for a new Crosstrek from Stevens Creek Subaru in San Jose. 36-month lease, no security deposit needed. $24.95 due at signing, plus tax, license, and registration fees. Includes $85 dealer documentation fee and first month's payment. Acquisition fee $650. 15 cents per mile over 10,000 miles per year with Tier 1 approved credit. $300 disposition fee. One at this payment. VIN number JF2GU ABC 8SH271247. Stock number 1250885. Offer expires end of month. See Stevens Creek Subaru for details.
On Stevens Creek Boulevard or online at StevensCreekSubaru.com. Buckle up and drive safely.
This sandwich, it's a complete game changer. Hello, this is Mike, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Pretzel Cheddar Club is that juicy chicken with that toasty pretzel bun. That bun, it's crispy, cozy, just amazing. With the pretzel bun, the Dijon mustard, and the chicken, it makes that sweet, savory kind of combination. It's everything that you love about food rolled into one. It looks phenomenal. It tastes great. It's delicious.
Order the Pretzel Cheddar Club with Cherry Berry and Sprite for a limited time on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonial.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Join Lorenzo Neal and Evan Giddings at Laughing Monk Brewing in Sunnyvale every red and gold home game this season for our special live pregame broadcast. Plus, we'll have tailgate games, prizes, great food, and drink specials. For more information, visit 957thegame.com.
It's time. Time for the pro to get everything for the job delivered. Large orders of lumber, doors, windows, paint, plumbing, anything the job needs, all from one partner. Get it today with same-day delivery. Get it tomorrow with next-day delivery on 50,000 plus products. Or get it on your timeline with scheduled delivery on everything from framing to flooring. It's time to get your whole job, all your jobs delivered. Ask about all our new delivery options at the Pro Desk. The Home Depot Pro, it's about time.
Straight Talk presents the math of more. Here's how it works. When you say yes to more with Straight Talk, you're left with more for all the other good stuff. So getting an unlimited plan starting at just $25 a month equals more savings for your family's weekend adventures. And with a network covered by Verizon, you can share more from wherever you go. It's simple math, really. More equals more with Straight Talk. Available at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Taxes and fees apply. The $25 plan requires a compatible unlocked device and a new line of service. Additional terms apply.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM in HD1 San Francisco, on Odyssey Sports Station. Always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch, and YouTube. Powered by First NorCal Credit Union. Now back to the Kickoff Show on 95.7 The Game.
All right, we got 2 hours until kickoff. Evan Giddings, Lorenzo Neal. This is the Kickoff Show live from Laughing Monk Brewing in Sunnyvale. Awesome setup, awesome games, awesome company. Everyone having some fun, of course, before the Niners take on the Jaguars today in Week 4. Okay, so, Lo, before the break, I was telling you a little bit about this this legal sign stealing.
Yes.
And Robert Saleh brought it up earlier this week. As someone who's been in these situations, been in the foxholes, I want to get your take on it. So Cam, if we can to the back, let's play what sort of kick-started this. Is it a controversy? Is it not a controversy? Robert Saleh on the Jacksonville Jaguars and whatever they used to kind of gain an advantage. Here was him on, I believe it was Thursday.
Liam and his staff, coming from a couple of guys coming from Minnesota, they've got legally a really advanced signal stealing type system where they always find a way to put themselves in an advantageous situation. They do a great job with it. They formation you to try to find any nugget they can. So we've got to be great with our signals, and we got to be great with our communication, and to combat some of the tells that we might give on the field. So they're almost elite in that regard. That whole entire tree, from Sean to Kevin O'Connell to all those guys, they all do it. So. So there's challenges. They're going to catch us in some situations where they have the advantage, and we just got to play good, sound, fundamental football and do our best to execute them.
So, legal sign stealing. Is this and every team always in every sport, wants to gain an advantage, whether it's the hand signals. You're looking at what the opposing defensive coordinators may be doing on the sideline. He did talk about also Minnesota, L.A., sort of the Sean McVay coaching tree of which Liam Cohen, the now head coach for the Jaguars, is under the umbrella of. But when you hear legal sign stealing, do you think it's gamesmanship? Do you think that Saleh is trying to maybe draw some attention to something? What do you think he was trying to say there?
Well, I think that you got to be careful with the hand signals, and I think that Robert Saleh maybe is going to have one coach be given signals, and guys think, okay, if they see the signal, okay, now they're running 2 deep. So, okay, they do a signal, that means they're playing 3 deep, okay? And how do you combat that? Okay, say we're going to do the same signal that they think we're playing 2 deep, but we're doing something else, and we switch it. So you got I think the one guy still has a microphone in his ear that he can hear what the coach says. So you got to be careful. You got to be able to run in plays, because you do. On the sideline, you see these coaches doing that, and you watch the play, and you know what they're playing. You know the coverages they're playing. So it's what the game is, man. Everybody's searching for an edge. Every team searches for an edge. It's not that I played the game, and it wasn't a coach that wasn't looking for an edge and talking about what tendencies, what they do, and how they do it, and this is what they want to do. So it's there. It's there. And Robert Saleh's not lying, and he's just saying, hey, they can steal your signs. And you just got to be aware of that, and you got to understand that. And he said sometimes they're going to get us, sometimes they're going to get them. And I just think that's just the way where we're at with football.
Were you ever able to tell what a defense was set in by a hand call, by stuff that you had sort of I don't know if it's looked for on film or just kind of schemed?
But as a player is not looking for that. A player he's into the game, he's watching him. We're not watching the sideline, what the defense is calling, what they're doing. You don't want players, we watch what personnel. If I run in and I'm, if I'm doing this, that means jumbo. If I do, doing this could mean, heavy personnel, heavy. Is there certain signals that people do? If I'm rubbing my stomach, that means heavy. If I got both arms up and I'm making 2 biceps, that means jumbo. So, excuse me, there's teams that do signals so you can catch what they're doing, but defense usually predicate what offense does. If they go 12, meaning 2 tight ends, 12 personnel, the defense adjusts accordingly. they bring in an extra linebacker. They bring in an extra D line. If you go 3 wides or 4 wides, they go with nickel. If you go 4 or 5 wides, they go dime personnel. So defenses see what you're doing, and then that's how they dictate who to put on the field. You can't sit there and go base 3-4 and play base defense, and a team's going with 4 wide receivers, because now you don't have enough DBs to cover, and now you're covering linebackers. So I think a lot of that is out there. I think that's just the nature of the game.
All right, well, here's Liam Cohen, who is the head coach and, of course, play caller for the Jacksonville Jaguars, in response to Robert Saleh bringing up the legal sign stealing. Here's Liam Cohen.
Robert Saleh made some comments about legal sign stealing. Is there any thoughts to that? I mean,
yeah, I'm not going to speak on that fully right now. Have a huge game for us coming up this weekend. Got a great defense that we've got to go and attack, and that's where our whole mindset and mentality is right now.
Were you surprised he went there?
Yeah, again, we're really trying to focus on a darn good defense that we have to go and try to go attack, and offensively get better, about us getting better, putting it together for 4 quarters, and trying to create some explosives in the pass game, some of those things that we're, trying to get better at as an offense. And so that's where the focus is right now.
Yeah, and there you go. Didn't deny. I can't confirm or deny that.
That's pretty political right there.
He walked that tightrope, being very, very political. 1,000%. That just goes to show you that they do, and they do. And he just like, hey, look, we got a game to play. Because he could have said, no, that doesn't happen. He knows it happens. But guess what? The Niners know it happened. Don't think that the Niners.
The whole league does.
When I played, it doesn't matter. So the game hasn't changed. Hell, you remember friggin' Tuckgate, all the different things that surrounded New England, about them stealing signs from Harbaugh stealing signs, all the different things that this has been going on. New England, they talk about New England took signs, and back in the day, and the Rams were mad at New England. You remember it's a big thing about when Marshall Faulk and them played, said that they watched their practice record. So this type of behavior, yes, there's a certain things of gamemanship, and there's a certain things of transparency, certain things of team, but there is a certain thing as that, hey, look, they do things, and catch me, you got to catch me. So I don't agree with some of the things that goes on, these ethics, but it's just teams are going to do what they feel that they need to do to get the advantage.
Yeah, and to get a win. I mean, when it comes to sports, rules are meant to not be broken, but certainly bent. And I think that's why when the reporter is asking Liam Cohen, were you surprised that he went there? He's not going to touch that, but he knows exactly why he did it, because I think as much as it's fair for Jacksonville to sort of bend those rules and employ a legal sign-stealing system, it's also then fair for Robert Saleh to call that out and put that on the table.
He does. It is. It's fair. And look, the league does it. Jacksonville, you look at teams, has it helped? Some teams don't help. Take Philadelphia Eagles, for instance. Here's a team that they understand special teams. They see something on there, and what have they been doing on every field goal the last couple of weeks? Jumping over the top, blocking the field goal, scoop and score. They're going to do it until a team stops them. Mm-hmm. They're like, okay, this is what this guy does. They want to be low, get low. So, hey, we got a jumper. Their jumper's jumping over, and he's blocking field goal. What are they going to do? How are you going to combat? You're going to tell a guy's got to stand up higher. They're going to tell a guy, don't. This is what they're going to do. So teams are going to, and with signals, it's tough. I mean, can it help you? Absolutely. If you know a team is running a certain offense and this is what they want to do, and I have my defensive end get upfield, and now he makes the quarterback pull up and he can't get outside and shut down that play, it hurts the play dramatically. So, yes, if I can steal some signs and understand what you're doing and what defense you're going to be in, absolutely I can take advantage of it. Absolutely.
All right, here's Kyle Shanahan, who was asked about it. The head coach had a little bit of fun with Robert Saleh and the Liam Cohen. Here's Kyle Shanahan commenting on the ordeal.
Yeah, I think it's very common. I think he was trying to give him a compliment. I think when the word sign stealing is used in a long compliment, that can sometimes go the wrong way. But I think he was just really good. They're good at what they do. Everyone tries to do that to a degree, so they're good at it. And I think he's more just letting them know that we know.
How good are you at it?
We don't need to do that. We truly believe in being fair in every aspect.
Yeah, but there he goes. We just want them. We want them to know that we're aware of it. We're aware that you're going to send. And so if I'm aware of it, so what do I do? What do I do to combat that? Do I put in, do I put in some fake plays and to offset what you do? Do I say, okay, we're going to do, when they zig, we're going to zag, So we're going to do different things. So he just let them know, look, hey, it's a compliment. You guys know what you're doing. You guys have understood, hey, how to steal signals. We get that. We're just telling you we know that. And so don't be surprised if we call some dummy plays. Maybe you're going to see them be overbearing with their calls.
Yeah.
And now Jacksonville believe that they're in something and they're going to get something else. So I think Shanahan will play that type of gamesmanship.
Well, and I think it's also, again, Saleh, Shanahan, they're very familiar with the McVays, the O'Connells, like that whole coaching tree. They're all they know exactly what's going on. And so to me, I found it, again, fair that Saleh is calling out the sign stealing. I think Shanahan's having some fun with it.
Oh, yeah.
In some sense, it's I also think that it was purposeful, the term sign stealing, because Robert Saleh, though he's not, I don't think he's someone who's like trying to make headlines.
No.
But he is trying to highlight just exactly what an opposing team is going to do. And he wants, I think, everyone to be aware of that while the game is going on.
And if you listen again to it, if you guys want to play it again, you could hear him say, everybody does that. But if you heard Shanahan, he goes, I think everyone does it to an extent. I think
he's trying to say it as a compliment.
Yeah, as a compliment, but he also he didn't exclude himself. I mean, Cam, can we get that again? I was going to listen to when I think there's a part in
the
there.
original sound from Robert Saleh.
Not from Robert.
From Kyle.
From Kyle Shanahan.
Okay,
yes.
Shanahan.
Let's play Shanahan again.
Yeah, I think it's very common. I think he was trying to give him a compliment. I think when the word sign stealing is used in a long compliment, that can sometimes go the wrong way. But I think he was just really good. They're good at what they do. Everyone tries to do that to a degree, so they're good at it. And I think he's more just letting them know that we know.
Good are you at it?
We don't need to do that. We truly believe in being fair in every aspect.
But yeah, so he's saying that everyone tries to do it to a degree, but he said we don't need to do certain things. So he's saying that there's a certain boundary that he and his staff won't cross.
Yeah.
So I think he's talking about the gamesmanship that we're alluding to. He's saying everybody does something to an extent, but there's certain things that we're not going to do.
Yeah, and I look, it's not like a holier than thou thing. I think he's like teams similar to play style, to scheme, to personnel. Teams have certain identities. Teams play certain ways. That's something that, and he's not just calling out Liam Cohen and the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's calling out Kevin O'Connell, Minnesota Vikings.
Oh, yeah.
He's calling out Sean McVay, who, by the way, they play next week on a short week on Thursday for the Los Angeles Rams. He's saying that everyone under that tree employs this advanced system. And I think that the word sign stealing was purposeful and wasn't necessarily complimentary, but it was highlighting. Like, I think that the Niners, to me, this game is not going to be determined by how good the Jacksonville Jaguars are at stealing signs or whatever sort of tendencies they are able to uncover about the Niners defense. But I also believe that wherever you can find an advantage, if it's fair and if it's within the rules, go for it. That's just the way that sports have always been played.
Yeah, it is. And I think that I really believe that Robert Saleh and Kyle Shanahan understands that's what teams are going to do. That's this game. And they're just alluding to some people do it more than others. Mm-hmm. Some people are willing to bend the rules more than others. Some people, and there's a part that integrity is like, all right, do I really need to sit there and do that to win a football game? And if you have to sit and solely depend on getting someone signs, that means you're really not a good coach either.
Yeah.
Because if I got to cheat to say, okay, I got to get your signs to know what you're going to be in order to win, that means you can't go scheme a game. So I don't think that that's sustainable because guess what? It'll become a time where teams won't even do signs. Come a times where teams just say, okay, look, that's why they get the quarterback. The quarterback and the offense coordinator can put the play into the quarterback's ear so you don't have to steal the signs. And if it becomes that much of a deal, they'll do that on defense as well and be like more just talking to the head guy who's got the red dot, who's the captain, and talking into his ear as well.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I think that this game, as opposed to science, it'll be determined by, is Brock Purdy better than Trevor Lawrence? You know, is Fred Warner going to be able to make a couple plays? Is the absence of Nick Bosa bigger than we thought? Those kinds of aspects to me are the ones that are going to determine the storylines and the outcome of this game, as opposed to something that Salah's talking about on Thursday. I also think that, speaking of Salah, his job has become much more difficult without someone like Nick Bosa, because whereas now, or before I should say, it felt like they were able to remain, I don't want to say, basic, but they could rush for, put pressure on the quarterback, and not have to compromise their defense. I do think that today, against Jacksonville, we're going to see some more creativity from the defense, not just because of who's on the other side, but also because of who's not on their own sideline, where Nick Bosa, I think, just allows them to remain a bit more, in a base and a shell. Whereas now, without him, you're going to see, I think, a lot of different looks from Salah in the defense today.
Yeah, I just don't know how much pressure that they were doing with 4 and just with Nicky. I think that, Nick Bosa's a, elite pass rusher. I just don't think he had found his groove yet. I think they just were not necessarily, the defense hasn't been humming when it comes to necessarily sacking the quarterback. It's going to just be interesting to see, how do they get home with just 4 and at times 5? What do you want to do? What are you willing to give up? How aggressive they're going to be, as a play caller on defense to say, okay, let's come after this guy. Let's light this guy up. Because when you bring a guy in, there's a zone that's always voided. When you bring someone, there is a space where you can go with the ball, and you just can't get hurt. You got to have guys that go cover that blade of grass where you're bringing the pressure. So if you don't get there, what happens? Because sometimes you bring the pressure, and if you don't get there, then now you're asking guys to do, hold up and play coverage longer, and you're asking for, there's going to be more breakdowns if you don't get home when you bring the pressure. So, damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Exactly. We're live here at Laughing Monk Brewing here in Sunnyvale for the Kickoff show. Every single home game, we got you 3 hours before kick, starting at 10 a.m. Come on out, have some food, have some drinks, get a little brunch in you before you get on out to the game. We got a free shuttle that you can sign up for on 957thegame.com. You click on the Kickoff show graphic, get your spot secured. It takes you right from here at 1235 Oakmead to Levi Stadium and back pre-post. It's an awesome place, awesome company. And again, we're here every single home game during the San Francisco 49ers season. We'll obviously have you locked and loaded for every road game as well here on the Kickoff show with Evan Giddings and Lorenzo Neal. The thing that I feel like all week low people were asking, and it's kind of national, and it's I think what media naturally does is this team for real? And to me, the Niners, of the 6 undefeated teams that entered this week, they might be the most difficult to assess and answer that question for because of the lack of pieces, kind of the interchangeables. They've lost Bosa, but most of their injuries have been temporary. They haven't lost a ton of guys for the entire season. But you think about, for me, I think it's almost easier to answer that question about a team like the Indianapolis Colts than it is the San Francisco 49ers. It's easier to answer that question about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are undefeated, than the San Francisco 49ers. Like when someone says and walks up to you on the street, hey, you're Laughing Monk Brewing, hey, Lo, are the Niners for real? How do you answer that question?
Well, I think that you have to say they have to be, because what they're doing defensively is unbelievable. If in the way they're doing it is, it takes you to a place where you say, wow, how much better can this team get? That's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at, it's not if they're for real. It's like this team is 3-0, and they don't have a load. They don't have all their bullets in the chamber. They have, you got egg shooter, you got 6 shooter, and you only have 3 shells. You got 3 more to load. Talking about Ayuk, and you're talking about Kittle, and you're talking about your quarterback. You're talking about other guys that are going to get Jennings. So you think about it. You got 4 or 5 guys that can help your team offensively. So I think when you say, are they for real, you got to say that they're for real because of where they're at. And when you look at them, it's not a fluke because they've been playing consistently on defense. I think that so do you say, when people say, oh, well, it's hard to judge because they don't have all the help. Yeah, it's hard to judge to say maybe offense can be scoring more, but what they've done on defense without a great pass rush, keeping teams in front of them, making teams work, making teams go on 15, 20, 30-play drives, and not giving up necessarily the big plays. That's what I like, and that's what seems real, because you are not giving up big plays. You're making teams say you're going to have to drive the ball, 80 yards, but you're going to be on a 20, 30, 15, 20-play drive to score. I like those chances. So that's what makes me optimistic, and that's what makes me think this team is real, because in the manner in which this defense makes you work to get points.
That is what I believe. I believe their defense is for real. The offense, and yes, a lot of it is because Kittle's been out. You haven't seen the starting quarterback, and Brock Purdy is going to play today against the Jacksonville Jaguars. But it's hard for me to say that the offense is for real, because they have not been able to run the ball. And that, to me, is a staple of Kyle Shanahan's offense. And until they are able to do that with some consistency, I just don't know how to answer that question. So I think the defense is what makes me feel like this team can do something special. You do need a good defense. The fact that they've been able to flip it from a bottom 10 unit to a top 10 unit in less than, one full calendar year with a lot of different parts, to me, has been ultimately very impressive. I think their special teams has now been patched up by getting a new kicker. They have a new punter, Thomas Morstead, who looks to be pretty good. He helped you a couple times in that Saints game, pinned them deep. That's a big part of the special teams unit. They haven't had any busted coverages on special teams, so they appear to be more buttoned up in that area. I think that the defense is what makes me say yes. The offense, I'm still hesitant about, and it's not even about the quarterback and the weapons, but it's about the fact that they haven't had a game yet where I feel like they've controlled the tempo of the game because of their ability to run the ball.
Yeah, and you're right. That's a fair assessment. I don't think that you've shown that your offense gives you belief that says, oh my goodness, we can go score, we can do anything we desire to do.
We can win a shootout.
To win a shootout. We have not seen that. But we've seen a team that says, our offense says, guess what? If you're our defense hole and your defense hole, and we have the ball last, our offense is good enough to win that game. So do I need to be in a shootout to win games? Niners are 3-0 last I checked. So I don't think you need to be a superstar offense or a high-scoring offense to win ball games. Now, is this something that you wouldn't like to see, this offense score more? Absolutely. Absolutely, you'd like to see them light it up. But you alluded to a team, they talked about, and that's the Kansas City Chiefs. Last year, offense was probably a dismal offense, one of the worst offenses in the league. Patty Mahomes, horrible, not necessarily a great year, but they didn't turn over the ball, and they played great defense. Does it put a lot of pressure on your defense? Absolutely. But you were able still to win. So if the Niners right now can continue to play great defense and say, look, we're going to score 24 in every game. We're going to score 22 or 24 in every game. Right now, they're a hard team to beat because of the fact if you can. But I would like to see them get to 24 a lot earlier. We'd like to see them be a little bit more consistent of scoring these points. So it's going to be interesting. Only time will tell what this offense can be and what this offense is going to get to. But right now, we just got to wait and see what this offense does and how it looks when Purdy and Ayuk and, Jennings and Kittle is back. I know it hasn't given us hope to think that, oh, my God, this team's going to score 30 a game but at least you know that help is on the way. And if you can continue to play in this manner and your offense just says, hey, look, give us the ball and we'll keep you in these ball games, and give us the ball last and we're one-score game, I'll take it.
And that's been the key, the equation right now to success is they stand undefeated 3-0, already with 2 division wins as well. That's one more than they had the entire year last season in 2024. I do want to talk about the division a little bit coming up next. We're halfway home between now and kickoff between the Niners and the Jacksonville Jaguars coming up at 105 Levi's Stadium. We are here live at Laughing Monk Brewing in Sunnyvale, 1235 Oakmead for the kickoff show every single home game. We got our guys out here throwing footballs around. We got ball toss. They kind of a larger, I don't know if it's dodgeball pong. I don't know what you want to call it.
Right. Dodgeball pong.
Dodgeball pong.
My man just dropped 2.
Yes, he did. Big bucket getter.
Yeah.
We got goalposts set up. We got cornhole, and of course we got amazing food, drinks, and vibes all down here at Laughing Monk Brewing in Sunnyvale. Evan Giddings and Lorenzo Neal going to be back after a quick break here on 95.7 The Game. But again, come on down every single home game we're here. It's a great time for all. And again, we are on the Kickoff show. We'll be right back after this on 95.7 The Game.
On Saturday, October 4th, Pier 39 is throwing a party right on the waterfront. Now our iconic views and bay breezes come with drinks to go. Grab a cocktail, mocktail, beer, or wine from one of our restaurants and take it with you as you explore the pier. Plus, live music, party games, sea lions, fun for the whole family. What more could you ask for? Enjoy dancing, street performers, special deals, and that one-of-a-kind Pier 39 flavor. We're bringing the atmosphere, you bring the crew. Pier 39, Pier for the fun. Learn more at pier39.com/entertainment zone.
Hi, I'm Dustin, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. I know finding a dream engagement ring can be overwhelming, but don't worry, we got you. As director of diamond sourcing, it's my job to make sure every single diamond at Shane Company is truly the best of the best. Our team travels the world to see diamonds up close, in person. We handpick each one for its unique fire, brilliance, and scintillation. Diamond buying is an art. Of course, we look at cut, color, clarity, and carat, known as the 4 C's, but that's not all. We also look at how each diamond looks on a hand, where it will be worn, how it makes you feel, and if it's worthy of a Shane Company customer. That type of expertise only comes from working for a company that's been a family business since 1929. We also think about your budget. We only pick the best in each grade in all shapes and sizes. Your diamond is guaranteed to be the most beautiful because a friend wants you to pick from only the best. Drop by your store or shaneco.com and see for yourself. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Now at Whole Foods Market, save 20% on beef chuck roast and stew meat with Prime through September 30th. As always, there are no antibiotics ever. Simmer in your slow cooker for a melt-in-your-mouth protein. While supplies last, shop in-store or online. Terms apply.
Since I've been in recovery, I could write a novel of the good things that happened to me. I finished college. I've held great jobs. It's never too late to recover from addiction. I am living proof that recovery is possible.
Get treatment. It works. To learn more, visit livingproofsf.org.
1-877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids. 1-877 Cards for Kids. Donate your card today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877 Cars for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877 Cars for Kids. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's carsforkids.org.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Your cold is coming. Your cold is coming. When you feel a cold coming, shorten it with Zycam, the #1 cold shortening brand.
Oh, no, not before my big trip.
The big trip you've been planning is coming up, and so is your cold. But Zycam can shorten your cold and get you back to planning sooner.
Thanks, Revere.
We really should keep Zycam in the house.
Shorten your cold with Zycam.
Take it from America's most revered messenger. Shorten your cold at the first sign with cold shortening products from Zycam, the #1 cold shortening brand. Available in stores or see where to buy at Zycam.com.
This is McGruff the Crime Dog, and I need you to help me take a bite out of crime. Another teenager, victim to fake pills bought from social media. This doesn't seem like a drug deal, but it definitely is. Should buying prescription pills be that easy? Many fake pills contain fentanyl, and an amount small enough to fit on the tip of a pencil can be lethal. So listen, before buying pills from social media, think again. Learn more at McGruffPSA.org and go for real. Brought to you by USPTO and the National Crime Prevention Council.
Join 95.7 The Game at Pier 39 for a special live broadcast from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturday, October 4th. Meet Zaza Pachulia, Festus Ezeli, Kalina Azabuki, Tim Roy, and Bonte Hill. Plus, enter to win Warriors tickets. For more info, visit 957thegame.com.
Hi, I'm Dustin, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. As director of diamond sourcing, it's my job to make sure every single diamond is worthy of a Shane Company engagement ring. Our team travels the world to see diamonds in person and handpick each one. That type of dedication only comes from working for a company that's been a family business since 1929. No matter your budget, your diamond is guaranteed to be the most beautiful because a friend wants you to pick from only the best. Drop by your store or shaneco.com and see for yourself. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Now back to the Kickoff Show on 95.7 The Game.
Oh, yeah, we are locked and loaded. They even got a game day menu here at Laughing Monk. Hawaiian fries. Lowe's got enough garlic to last them between now and the end of the year. Red Zone poppers, fish and chips. Unfortunately, it's Bosa's fish and chips, so they might be a little broken right now. But wings baskets, pork sliders, they got it all here at Laughing Monk.
Yeah, you got me while I'm eating, man.
Yeah.
I'm diving in on these
locked and loaded.
I'm diving in on the lemon pepper wings. They're absolutely to die for. The garlic fries, just the right amount of garlic. It tastes so good when it touches my lips. This is going to be an awesome game today. Come down here. If you don't want to go to the game, come down to Laughing Monk, get some great grub, come watch the game, watch a little football, watch these Niners try to take it to 3-0.
Well, and so one thing we were talking about during the commercial break, because, look, we got a ton of people down here. Again, great vibes. It's a great time at Laughing Monk Brewing. 1235 Oakmead in Sunnyvale can get you a spot on a shuttle, taking you to and from the stadium, so you don't have to worry about taking your car in, paying for parking. Free right here at Laughing Monk. But we were talking to a couple of young fans.
Yeah.
We got our guy Chris. We got our guy Andrew. And
Chris and Andrew, yep.
They are feeling, I think, a lot of what fans are, which is urgency about this team. You know, yes, you didn't maybe expect to start 3-0, but the fact is you are 3-0.
Right.
Doesn't matter how you got here. 10 points have decided 3 wins. But now with Bosa being out, it almost feels like, and we talked about it a little bit in the first segment, I think it is time to revisit, how quickly can this become a win-now season?
Yeah.
And how much pressure is going to be put on this season if they can continue to stack W's?
I'm going to tell you right now, you win today what you should win today, and it's going to be tough. This is going to be a tough game. Jacksonville, they're no pushover. This is a team that's fighting too. They understand the importance of winning. If you find a way to win today, I would be very highly shocked if you didn't make a trade for a Henderson trade. You know, look at
Trey Hendrickson, yeah.
Yeah, because he's in Cincinnati. He's in the Dirty Natty. You know, he's on a 1-year deal pretty much. Didn't get the money that he deserved. So get a guy like that. See what happens. Get a rental. We saw him do it with Chase a couple years back.
Mm-hmm.
You need to find a rental right now that you can bring in because you're in this thing. You're the 49ers. You just go 4-0. You are in the thick of this thing. You cannot sit and say, you know what, we're not going to keep our foot on the pedal. We're not going to go in. We're not going to try to go pick up somebody because why wouldn't you not? It behooves this team, Evan, to say, look, we got to go get someone. We have to go get a game changer because we don't have a game. Yeah, we know what Fred can do as far as a linebacker, but like you talked about, he's not a guy that's going to get after the pressure. Yeah, you can blitz him. But you need him in coverage. You need him doing it to keep the back end. So you need a game changer up front. You lost Nicky Bosa. You don't have a game changer up front getting after the quarterback.
And that's something that every single team that is successful, and this is why I was excited about what the defense could become this year, is because at all 3 levels, you have a game-changing type of talent. Obviously, the defensive line, it was Nick Bosa. Linebacker speaks for itself. It's Fred Warner. I think Diamador Lenore is evolving into that kind of player on the back end at the cornerback position. The thing about it now is you don't have one of those game changers at one of the most critical points, one of the levels of your defense. And this is a team that when they have made deep runs into the postseason, under Kyle Shanahan, whether it's Robert Saleh, D'Amico Ryans, the rest, it's been because they have been able to dominate the line of scrimmage. And so I'm 100% with you. If they win this football game today, I do think that we're going to hear a lot of noise, far more. The Adam Schefters, the Peliceros, the Rappaports, rumors that the San Francisco 49ers are out searching for a big boy because they have reset their books, yes. They're going to pay their quarterback in a year. But this is not a season where I think that they can sit idle if they're going to play at this level. I think they have outplayed expectations for me. And to me, if they win this game today, you're 4-0. You're one of the undefeateds. You're a quarter of the way through the season. You absolutely have action for the division. You got to think bigger.
Evan, earlier today you said doors open, doors close. The San Francisco 49ers, whether you believe it or not, no matter how you look at it, the door is open.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what, people talk about their strength of schedule and their schedule, I got to do anything. You can't look at football like that. You have to go and say, look, our window is open. We are 4-0 after today. Let's go be 4-0. Our window is open. We are open for business because we know it's going to close sooner or later. And you're in this stick. Trent's not getting any younger. McCaffrey's not getting any younger. You owe it to your guys and you owe it to your players. The window is open. And by the way, George Kittle is not getting any younger. You have to try to find a way to win football games. So right now, you're John Lynch. You're this front office. You're looking and saying, hey, guys, we got some decision to make. Coach Shanahan, we got some decisions to make after this game today. We win this game. You know what? I'm picking up the call in Cincinnati. I'm saying, hey, what are we going to do? Because you look at Cincinnati, you lost your trigger man. You're not going anywhere without Joe Burrows.
No.
You don't have the defense that the Niner has. You're not doing it. You got Baltimore. You got the Steelers. You're not doing it. You got Cleveland. You're not going anywhere. So what do? You need to try to reload. You're probably not going to be able to keep him. You're not going to be able to keep him, so why not see if you can get a fifth or a fourth or something for him for a rental, and get rid of that salary cap to see what you can do. So I think that this 49ers team is going to be very aggressive in the next couple weeks, and a lot of it depends on today.
When does, for fans, and I want to throw this out too, 888-957-9570, when or if this season becomes one, when does it become a win now type of year? I think that this was a football team everyone had varying levels of expectations for. They could be a team to compete for the division. They maybe could be a team that, like last year, could win 6 games. There were so many different opinions on what this 49ers season could become, but what we know this year is it has started 3-0. They are undefeated. When does it become a win-now season for you? And does that hinge necessarily on today? Does it hinge on next week when you play the Rams? Where are you at right now with the state of the San Francisco 49ers? Let's go out to Dre, who's in Lemoore, wants to talk about today's game. Dre, what's happening, man? Good morning. How are you?
What's up, fellas? Thanks for taking my call. I couldn't agree with you guys more. Your take, Trey Hendrickson would be a valuable asset, and I think he's only getting paid for this year. Say he just plays for the year. He's the piece that could put that team into the playoffs, into the Super Bowl. I couldn't agree with you guys more. I mean, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but if you're going to make a deep run, like you said, we need a stud defensive end, somebody on that line. Hey, Lorenzo, I talked to you a couple weeks ago, and I asked you about all the running backs you blocked for, 1,000-yard seasons in a row.
Yeah.
I know you were a 2-time high school state champion in wrestling. Is that correct?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, and I know you took 7th in nationals in college.
Something like
and
that.
Did you? Yeah, I had some friends that went to a UFC fight several years ago while you were still playing, and on the plane ride home, they ran into a gentleman named Dwayne Zinkin.
Yes.
And Dwayne said when you retires, he wanted to be your promoter to fight in the UFC. And I think you made the smart choice by going to radio so, you didn't get hurt. But you made the smarter choice that you didn't go into the UFC so nobody over there got killed.
You're the best, L-Town. I appreciate you. It's interesting you said that. You know what? I remember going over to the pit, the graduate over there in Cal Poly. Chuck Liddell wrestled at Cal Poly at San Luis. I went over there and got Chuck in. I told Chuck, you need to get into this UFC. You need to start doing the Iceman. I told the Iceman, go into the UFC, buddy. Go whoop some butt. I used to go over there and train with him before his fights. I'd go over there before Tito. I would go over there and train with him. I said, I want to see what you got. Knew that he was ready. Me and Chuck Liddell, the Iceman, we're great friends. He's getting married here in a couple weeks, going to his wedding down south. But I'm telling you right now, I used to love the UFC. Wrestling made me tough. Dwayne Zinkin, those are my childhood friends. Been knowing these guys forever. Their grandfather invented the knowledge machine and universal weights. Zinkin family, great family. Nick, Dwayne, and Harold Zinkin, good friends of mine. Awesome family. Yeah, I think I could have been a UFC fighter. Oh, I'm ready. Come on, Evan. I'm going to give you a couple blows right now. But no.
I want no part.
I'm glad I made the right choice. But I am glad that this caller, we do agree about a couple things. UFC, exactly. I'm glad I'm not in that. But we do agree that this Niner team may need to get very serious about throwing their name in the hat to get a outside pass rusher, a go-getter, a guy that can change the game, that can get the game. Go get a rental for for this year, because you're right now in the thick of things. You are undefeated. You're here now, so why look back? Why turn? Why run? If you're scared, get a dog. And you brought your dog here today, Evan. If you're scared, go to church. And I'm going to church anyway. So the 49ers, they need to go ahead, push their chips in, and say, let's go find a player that's going to help us get what we need to get.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you, Lo. I might have brought the least threatening dog in the land. He literally has no teeth, so he is all bark and literally no bite. But he is
He'll gum you to death. He'll gum you to death.
He will.
And he's lovely. He can't keep his tongue in his mouth. That is, this is the Michael Jordan of dogs. He's got, but he's even more Michael, because his tongue is out, hanging out the whole time as he's just dragging it on the ground. And the dog is absolutely beautiful, Evan. Great, great, great dog. I'm glad that you bring him here at the Laughing Monk. Everyone loves him out here. He's a hit. Come out here with all the hundreds of people. We're drinking. We're partying. We're getting it in. I got the great wings going. Got the little fries. You guys watching me at home.
Yep.
I'm even going to take a bite of this wing for you. Let's go. Bang, bang. Niner gang. But I'm with you. Let's put some names in the hat that you think this Niner team maybe should be going after this week.
To me, Trey Hendrickson is the number one target. This is a guy, and I think it works for multiple reasons. Number one, we know that the Niners have had interest in him in the past. Cincinnati has never been in a place where they've been willing to give him up, because he is one of the premier pass rushers in the NFL, led the league in sacks a season ago. But they restructured his contract, got him a little chicken on the top, but they can't pay him long term because they have Jamar Chase, they have Joe Burrow, they have T. Higgins. They have all this money wrapped up in a lot of offensive players, no money for the defense. So Hendrickson, I think, is a guy that would be willing to move on from Cincinnati. He probably will at the end of the season regardless.
He will.
And they're a team that right now, to your point about Burrow, they're not going to be competing this year. You miss your quarterback for 3 months, ironically, with turf toe. Brock Purdy's back today after just 2 weeks, but that's not a season that's going to go anywhere for me. So Cincinnati's already looking ahead, retooling for next year. I think the Niners, and I'll go so far as to say this, even if they lose the game today, in fact, I think if they do lose, I think it's going to highlight even more how much they need and will need a premier pass rusher. Trey Hendrickson, to me, is the number one target, and that's a guy that no matter, again, win or loss today against Jacksonville, they have to maybe making calls about.
Yeah, and it's the way that if they lose or win, it's the way that happens. I love the fans out here rocking Frankie Gore's jersey.
Gore.
I love that jersey, baby. That's the man. Frankie Gore.
2-1.
2-1 used to get it in, baby. Love the way how physical this guy ran. He was amazing. But like you said, win, lose, or draw, you still have to throw your name in the hat. And it's the way you have to say, if we're going to try to get into these playoffs, which we're right now, we are in the playoffs. If the playoffs will start today, you got to go get a guy that's going to change the game. You have to be able to have a guy that if you go one-on-one, it's a nightmare, that he's going to win his one-on-one battles. You don't have a guy right now up front that's going to it's going to demand a double team. You got to find someone out there that you can get. And why not? Bring him in for a year. If not him, find out who else is out there. But you got to make some plays if you're this Niner team. And I think that they will win this game. But even if they don't, like you said, still inquire about players that are out there.
Yep.
Because you do need to be able to rush the quarterback and the passer. And right now, the San Francisco 49ers, that is the only thing that is lacking from their defense.
Exactly. Nick Bosa being out for the season creates a large gap on that defensive line, but they might be able to fill it. Again, that's not going to help them today against Jacksonville, but a game that we both feel like they should win. We're going to tell you why coming up in a little bit between now and 1 o'clock. Again, when they kick off at Levi's Stadium. We are live here at Laughing Monk Brewing, right outside the stadium. Sunnyvale, couple miles away. We got buses that are going to take you to the game, back from the game, all for free if you go to 957thegame.com, click on the Kickoff Show graphic, sign up on Eventbrite. That link will get you locked and loaded right here at Laughing Monk Brewing. Can leave your car. It's free. Grab a pop, grab some food. Great setup here down south for the San Francisco 49ers. And again, we're throwing this out there, 888-957-9570. Has this become more of a win now type of season for fans out there after seeing the first 3 weeks? Does the injuries make you feel a bit skeptical? What are you looking for today? What would change your mind in that direction? Let's go out to Jonathan, who's in Castro Valley, wants to talk about it. Jonathan, you're on the Kickoff Show with Evan and Lowe. How you doing, man?
Hey, good morning, gentlemen, or almost afternoon, I should say. And if you're eating wings and garlic fries, then that's a good afternoon, huh?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, for breakfast, Jonathan.
Lo, I ain't gonna lie to you, brother. I'm a die-hard born Niners fan. Was ready for this season. These injuries started having me get in my feelings. I started thinking, oh no, I ain't gonna lie to you. I almost listened to the game through the radio, just being that skeptical. But today, Lo, you brought it back, brother. You have brought the voice and you have brought the reason behind, and I think you got me gassed up along with a lot of Niner Nation. We just need to go get that piece. Like you said, brother, these men have earned where they're at. I think that if they step on Jacksonville's neck today, as they should, we need to go get that piece, baby, and do this team what they deserve. I agree with you 100%. They deserve it. They need to go out there and go get that missing piece. And again, I don't think he could have suggested a better player. And again, man, you got me ready for the day, baby. I just have to let you know, Lo, you put the fire back in the nation, brother.
Hey, brother, I appreciate the call, man. I'm grabbing both my ears so I can hear you. I couldn't hear you as well, so I couldn't hear everything you were saying. But I know you talked about me putting the fire back in. Well, the fire is there always with the Niner Nation, the Niner faithful. This is just an opportunity. I'm a huge believer. Opportunity is never lost. It's just given to someone else. You have to realize there's going to be teams lined up for Trey. There's going to be guys lined up for Mr. Henderson because we know the type of pass rusher and what this guy has done for the Cincinnati Bengals organization for all these years. People are going to find a way to get this guy there. Why not the Niners be at the front of the line? Because you know the kind of quarterback you have. You know that, hey, no Jennings is coming back. You know that you have Brandon Ayuk coming back. You know that this passing game is going to pick up. This passing game will get better. Look at Pearsall, how he's playing. Think about when you got Jennings and you got Ayuk in the lineup, and then, hey, diddle, Kittle down the middle. Think about what this offense can be and what this offense will be. Kyle Shanahan, you don't think that this guy is upset and frustrated because his offense is not playing up to what it's capable of playing? Now, it's scoring when it has to. Mm-hmm. It's finding a way to win games when it has to. It's doing what it needs to do to win games, but he knows this offense has a lot more juice, and there's a lot more things it can do. So if that is the case, and your defense is playing championship football, if you're going to go get a game record to go ahead and put pressure on the quarterback that can shut down and saying, okay, we can't single this guy, we got to double this guy, so someone else now is going to have the ability to make plays, you have to go do this for your defense, because now you can sit back and still play zone, still don't compromise the integrity of the secondary, the back end, by 4. So I think that you go out and do this. And then at times, even though you have a dominant pass rusher, now when you bring that fifth guy, because you put 2 on another, now that fifth guy is free because you have 2 guys looking at another pass rusher, and now that fifth guy, that 6th guy that you bring is going to be able to get home untouched, unscathed, to put the pressure on the quarterback. So I think it is a must. I think it is a must situation that the Niners go out there right now and find someone that can put pressure on the quarterback and demands double teams.
And I think even if it's someone, look, they went out and identified Bryce Huff as someone that in Salah's system is going to get busy and provide you with pass rush pressure. We saw it against the Saints. He was the closer in that football game. Someone, it doesn't, again, Hendrickson is the best name on the market to me. I think he fits for multiple reasons. And the Niners could make a choice to pay him down the line, potentially even pair him with Nick Bosa. But I think there's some other guys out there, maybe a couple of edge rushers like with the Giants, Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau, other players that are more pass rush specialists. Burns plays a little bit of both. But the point is, someone that can get to the quarterback, because I think this defensive line has shown an ability to at times generate pressure, but not consistently enough. And that's where Nick Bosa on all 3 downs is giving you both against the run and the pass. I'm 100% with you that, again, regardless of the result today, this is now a hole on this football team. And the defensive line has always been at the forefront of success for the San Francisco 49ers, and right now it is barren. Not to say they can't win today, not to say they can't win games, but if this team is going to realize its potential when eventually the Kittles comes back, Ayuk comes back later in the season, Malik Mustafa, who's been on IR to start the year, comes back at the safety position, you start to get as healthy as possible. I want to see what this team is at full strength, and to me, aiding that potential, that's what I'm looking for. It's not necessarily, well, they need help right now. Perhaps, yes, but the point is, what can they be at the end of the year? That, to me, is why you make a trade, because you're trying to figure out, all right, our defense is really good.
Right.
But we can help and aid our best unit get even better, so that when the offense begins to get whole, gets those injuries off the board, then we look at a whole football team that might be kind of dangerous.
Yeah, and not just dangerous, but you got to realize what it does to the wear and tear of this defense. When now, I know we talked about this team, teams have to go on a 16, 20-play drive, and it wears out the offenses, and they end up making mistakes. But also, the flip side is that your defense is still out there on the field. And what happens when your defense stays on the field long? Also injuries. So now if you got a guy that can go out there and turn the game as a pass rusher and get after it, now you got, boom, first down, they run the ball, pick up 3 yards. Second down, boom, they throw the ball and give up a sack for 10 yards. Now it's 3rd and 15, 3rd and 20. What you do now is you save your defense, and you're also giving your defense a chance to get fresh for the next downs. So I think that it really, really tremendously helps, and more than just one way. When you get a dominant pass rusher, he changes the game. He lessens the stress on your defense. You lessen the wear and tear on your defense, and you just make your offense, gives your offense more opportunities to put points on the board.
100%. It impacts everything, and even something as simple as, well, all right, this secondary that's full of a lot of young players, sure, it's got some talent, but it looks a lot better when guys are getting home and forcing the quarterback to make a quicker decision. Your guys don't have to cover for as long. It also puts a little more pressure on the linebackers, because they're going to have to cover more space because the quarterback's got some more time. Maybe a mobile quarterback like last week against Kyler Murray, if he's not feeling as much pressure, he might be able to dance a bit more. That put more pressure on Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw. Pardon me.
Right, I know what you're saying.
Yeah. So I think D. Winters, sorry. The point is it's a domino effect. And to me, the most impressive part about the Niners team has been their defense. I think the offense has room to grow because they'll get guys back. But the defense now, really the only injury they've sustained has been to Nick Bosa.
Right.
And you're not going to get him back for the year. So if we can plug that hole, we can keep this defense at, I believe, an elite level, certainly top 10, which they've played at so far. Yep. It can help this football team continue to win.
Evan, I'm going to tell you right now, I got excited. We got the tequila out here. They got the tequila flowing.
Don't tempt me with a good time, man.
I know. I mean, you guys got to get down here to Laughing Monk. They got beautiful ladies out here passing out tequila, giving out free shots.
Thank you.
I mean, this place is absolutely hopping. It's awesome. Appreciate you guys.
Don't tell the boss.
Okay, well, we're not telling the boss. I'm not telling Evan. I don't kiss and tell. Boss, guess what? We're doing 5 shots in a row with the girls. We're getting crazy out here. They're talking bang, bang, Niner game. They're all fired up. Everyone's fired up in here. It is going down. I totally agree with what you're saying, Evans. As I digest, I have to get back on this thing. It is one of the listeners told me he wanted me to throw that in as I digest.
Yes,
so I
sir.
had to throw that in there. But you're absolutely right. This is a long season. And the more you can do and the more weapons that you have offensively and defensively, it just betters your chances to win.
100%. And it also betters every single Sunday, you got a better chance to have a good time if you're down at Laughing Monk Brewing, because last week the crowd was good. It was solid. Week 1, home opener for the Cardinals, first time we're at Laughing Monk Brewing. It's starting to gain some steam. It's starting to get some momentum. We got more people here today. We got folks that are hopping on the buses that just pulled up that will eventually take them to the stadium to see the 49ers and then bring them back after the game. Free if you sign up on our website on the Eventbrite link, 957thegame.com. We got our guy Joe Cunningham here. We got Khalil. We got Lucas. We got a bunch of people from the station who are headed to the stadium at some point. So it's a great vibe. The sun is just starting to come out too as the haze breaks away as we draw closer to kickoff at 1 o'clock between the 49ers and the Jacksonville Jaguars. So again, get down to Laughing Monk Brewing. Every single home game, we got you starting at 10 a.m. for the kickoff show. We'll take one break here, come back for our final hour. We also got to go around the league a little bit, talk about what's happened in the NFC and the AFC. A lot of good games going on right now, too. So Lorenzo, Neal, and Evan Giddings, we're going to step aside and be back after this. I'm going to get some chicken on 95.7 The Game.
Hey, it's Willard and Dibs for Safeway. Enjoy these amazing deals for Safeway members. And as always, save up to 20% weekly on hundreds of exclusive offers with For You on the Safeway app. Here we go. Winner, chicken dinner. This week's signature: select chicken, split breasts, boneless, skinless thighs, wings, value pack, or Foster Farms fresh and natural whole chicken. Buy one, get one free of equal or lesser value when you buy two.
Add some healthy sides with Hass avocados or green bell peppers. 4 for $5 or just $1.25 each, and wash it all down with Mix and Match Pepsi, 7-Up, Polar Seltzer, or Pure Leaf Tea. Various sizes and varieties. Buy 2, get 2 free when you buy 4 with your digital coupon plus CRV. Limit 2 free items.
As we say on the show, great, let's drink. All right, these and other great digital deals are available in the For You section on the Safeway app. Go to Safeway.com for more details. And as always, we will see you in the aisles.
Hi, I'm Dustin, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. As director of diamond sourcing, it's my job to make sure every single diamond is worthy of a Shane Company engagement ring. Our team travels the world to see diamonds in person and handpick each one. That type of dedication only comes from working for a company that's been a family business since 1929. No matter your budget, your diamond is guaranteed to be the most beautiful because a friend wants you to pick from only the best. Drop by your store or shaneco.com and see for yourself. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Hey, it's Joe Shasky here for Ceremony Ford, and let me keep it real with you. If you've been thinking about making the switch to an electric ride, now is the time to pull the trigger because Ceremony Ford in Colma is ending the summer with some heat. So check this out. Slide into a brand new 2025 Mustang Mach-E for just $225 a month on a lease. That's right, $225 a month for 36 months. Or if you're ready to buy, lock in 0% APR financing for 72 months and grab a $2,000 rebate. Who else is giving you that? Only Ford. But here's the kicker. The federal EV tax credits on Mach-E and the F-150 Lightning are about to expire September 30th. You wait, you lose. Don't let Uncle Sam keep your money. Ceremony Ford has one of the biggest inventories in Northern California, and they're ready to hook you up. Find them right off at 280 in Colma or online 24/7 at ceremonyford.com. That's Ceremony Ford, the Bay Area's Mach-E superstore. Tell them Butcher sent you.
Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. Here at Xfinity, we know there's still good in keeping some things the same. That's why we want to do our part with a 5-year price guarantee on our internet. It means no matter what changes, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on OpenSignal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
Red and Gold Game Day starts at Laughing Monk Brewing. Park for free. Enjoy amazing food, ice-cold beer, and every game on TV. Catch 95.7 The Game's pregame show. Then hop on the free shuttle straight to the stadium. Sign up now at 957thegame.com.
Tulsa is my home now.
Academy Award nominee Sylvester Stallone stars in the Paramount Plus original series, Tulsa King.
This distillery is a very interesting business. We gotta know the enemy.
From Taylor Sheridan, co-creator of Landman.
What are you saying? I'm a rat! If you think you're gonna take me on, it's gonna be really difficult.
Tulsa King. New season now streaming exclusively on Paramount Plus.
Join Lorenzo Neal and Evan Giddings at Laughing Monk Brewing in Sunnyvale every red and gold home game this season for our special live pregame broadcast. Plus, we'll have tailgate games, prizes, great food, and drink specials. For more information, visit 957thegame.com.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks Vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM in HD1 San Francisco on Odyssey Sports Station. Always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch, and YouTube. Powered by First NorCal Credit Union. Now back to the Kickoff Show on 95.7 The Game.
Oh, people are rolling in. People are rolling out. Getting ready. 1 hour until kickoff. Our guys.
Those are guys right there. We just hit you. You brought some great points. We just talked about go all in, baby. Go all in. We're going to bring someone in. You want us to bring a player in? We're going to do it, baby. They're asking what the final score. I got this one at 21-17 Niners. This is a low. Yeah,
I got 24-20
game. I don't think Jacksonville has a great offense, but they can play good defense. This is not going to be a high-scoring game. What has the Niners shown you that they're going to go put up 30 this year? You haven't seen it offensively. I'd love to see it. Could be the big day. We got the fans all in our face. They're up here. Purdy's in the face saying, "Hey, what's up?" They're fired up. We got the Niner bang bang Niner game. They're fired up over here.
They got 3 wins by one score.
Baby.
I think it's going to be 4. 3 wins by 1 score. Today we make it 4, all right? That's going to be the goal of this team. It is just get in and win, and that's kind of been the equation. That's been the winning sort of
formula.
That's been the winning formula for this football team, Lo.
It really has, and you watch just the way they find a way to get after it. How they say, okay, we're going to line up, we're going to place, we're going to run the ball, we're going to throw the ball, but we're going to play good defense. We're going to make you beat us. We're going to make the least amount of mistakes. We're going to be disciplined.
Yep.
And I'm telling you, I think that with special teams and the way this team is playing, especially when you see this team playing even a little bit more loose, a lot more aggressive. They're trying to make things happen. I love it. I love this game. I like this game. I think it's going to be I think the stadium's going to be rocking.
Absolutely.
I'm watching the fans. They're coming over here at the Laughing Monk. They're getting ready to jump on the bus, heading over to party. I love it, man. So I'm telling you, I think they win this game, but it is going to be a tough-fought game. This is not going to be a blowout. I have not seen that the Niners, not that they can, but I have not seen that this team's going to just blow you out. They beat you, they nick you. They don't hurt you. They just keep cutting you until they finally get the win. So I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. And right now, I'm watching this young Charger running back run. Mario Hampton just picked up 25 yards. That's the kind of run that you like to see. That's a chain mover. It's a crowd pleaser. And I want to see that from the Niners today. Let's see if we can get that Niners offense rolling today. Let's get around the league, though, and let's go with some scores.
That's what I'm saying. So we got right now 1 hour exactly until kickoff. Niners, Jacksonville. The Jaguars are 2-1. The Niners obviously at 3-0, trying to remain undefeated in advance of a Thursday night matchup with the Los Angeles Rams. It's going to be huge for the division. But we got a lot of good 10 a.m. games going on right now, and a couple of eyebrow raisers, to be quite honest. You know, you're looking at the Falcons, who got shut out last week by the Carolina Panthers. They're up 24-13 against Marcus Mariota and the Washington Commanders. Meanwhile, the Patriots are a team. Talking about a team that you didn't know that they could score 30 points. The Patriots are up 35-6 right now on the Carolina Panthers. The Philadelphia Eagles right now in the third quarter beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 24-13, a game that we both looked at before and said that might be a little suspicious, might be a little tough, but Philadelphia was also up 24-6 at halftime. The Detroit Lions are taking care of business at home against Cleveland 20-10. The Houston Texans, who are right now beaten. They are 0-3 against the 0-3 Titans, are up 12-0, and then the Buffalo Bills are beating the New Orleans Saints 21-10. Of all of the 10 a.m. games right now, Lo, which one, number one, were you most interested in, and then which one, based on the results, have caught your eye?
Yeah, I think right now the most one that I'm interested in, I want to see what my L.A. Chargers can do. I like what they're doing and like the way that they're playing the 3-0. I think the one that I'm most interested in is I think Philly and Tampa Bay. Philadelphia, what they've done, it's not that they're lighting it up offensively. Special teams always talk about offense counts at third, defense counts at third, and offense. Special teams counts at third. Look what they did on special teams. I think they got a block
punt for a touchdown.
Block punt for a touchdown. Last week was block field goal for a touchdown. When you can do that on a consistent basis week in and week out, you change the scoreboard, you change the outcome of games. Special teams is huge, and that's what I think Philadelphia has been able to do. Philadelphia, they lost last week to the Rams. The Rams are going in to kick the game-winning field goal.
Yep.
You get it blocked.
Should have been over.
It should have been over, but it's other way. It's going other way for 7. So that's the game that I'm most surprised in. I think I'm a little surprised too with the Commanders. Commanders down, getting beat by Arizona by the Falcons 24-13. Kind of surprising there. I'm not surprised with Detroit Lions. Detroit Lions are rolling. They're playing pretty good defense. The offensive, they're scoring well.
Yep.
Patriots, Vrabel. Vrabel's going to get those guys to play. He's a physical, get after your kind of guy. Like what they're doing. Young team, but they're going to be a team to reckon with. I think you look at the Tennessee Titans. I don't think that they have it. I understand they got a young phenom quarterback, but that team's still a ways off. It's good to see the Texans finally get off the sty. They might find a way to get a win because right now they've been struggling as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think the game that everyone had circled just because of the unbeatens, specifically in the NFC, was Philadelphia at Tampa Bay. I thought the Buccaneers would be able to give Philly a little bit better of a game, and it's kind of what you talked about where the Eagles have all this talent and all these weapons, but offensively they have, it feels like, Low, taken the path less traveled. They've taken the path to least resistance. They've tried to just get through their first 3 games, win them, and it doesn't matter if it's by 1, if it's by 10. They're just going to try and take care of business, and they've made, obviously, a couple big plays, none more bigger than last week's blocked field goal for a touchdown to beat L.A. But, this is an Eagles team that
could be 0-3.
They could be 0-3, and that's the beauty of football, right? I mean, the Buccaneers are also a team that is 3-0, and they have a score differential of 9. So they have won 3 games by 3 points, similar to the 49ers. And that's why the NFC right now, as I'm looking at these standings, looking at these unbeatens, it's difficult for me to say the Niners aren't out of it or aren't a team that belongs in that conversation, because I think you could nitpick, you could really poke holes in any of these unbeaten's resumes when you're looking at the NFC on that side of the bracket.
Oh, without a doubt. You look at freaking Philadelphia, Dallas Cowboys, CeeDee Lamb makes a couple catches. They lose that game.
Yep.
If you look at the game last week, they lose to the Rams. So what you're talking about is just a game of inches. You look at the game last week, and that's why everyone talks about, hey, the Niners. The Niners could very well be 0-3 as well. I mean, they've won every game by a one-score game. So when you think about it like that, they're winning one-score games, and they're 3-0. These two teams, Philadelphia and the Niners, without a doubt, could very well be 0-3. They have not blown anyone out. These have been very, very competitive games. And that's the same thing, though. You look at some other teams out there. Look at the Giants. The Giants are a team that's battling, but they could have beat the Cowboys. They should have beat the Cowboys. Went in overtime. They were right there with Kansas City. And Kansas City offense, Russell Wilson was throwing picks all day long. So when you think about some of these teams and think about how easy look at a team, Arizona Cardinals. You can't mean to tell me Arizona think that they shouldn't be undefeated.
They should.
They have an.
They should feel that way.
Exactly. Yeah. So they should feel that way, and so that's what I'm saying. So football is it's just a game of inches. It's a game of one possession. So that's why you never know what play is going to cost you a football game.
888-957-9570 is the number. Are you thinking about the Niners in win-now mode? Are you looking at them among the elite in the NFC? Or are you just taking it 1 week at a time? This is the Kickoff Show with Evan Giddings and Lorenzo Neal. Let's get out to one of our favorites. Let's get out to Phil Mo Mike. Wants to talk some Niners with us. Phil Mo, how we doing, man? What's going on?
Hey, man, I'm doing great. I got to give a happy birthday shout-out. Black History Month in, September. But Cam, happy birthday, Cam. Happy born day.
There we go.
One time. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm hearing Lorenzo Neal talk, and I just got to say, it's blasphemy. Guru always be like, he's a titan. He did, he was a gladiator. He is a warrior. And then Guru got the nerve to say he could beat you in a 100-yard dash. Man, he needs to stop smoking whatever he's smoking. You feel me? Because I'm smoking some good right now, getting ready for the game, Lonnie. I know you're going to church. You feel me? Make it happen. Nah, for real. Same church, different pew with you, Lo, but it's all love. But listen,
no question.
I love the grit. I love the grind. And we got to come with a Lorenzo Neal type of game. We got to hit them in their mouth early. You keep hitting them in their mouth, by the third quarter, they're going to be pooped out. Shout out to Eric Armstead. Please don't hurt our quarterback, Eric Armstead. I know he's going to try to tear somebody's head off for real. And he's a hell of a player for real. But with that being said, I do like the Niners. If they could pick up a 2-for-1 instead of just oh boy, the Niners might get lucky enough to get a 3-for-1 though. Watch out for that. The Niners might be desperate and lucky enough. They may say, you know what, if we could get this guy for that price and these two players for this price, I like Thibodeau and Burns. That's what I like. Because Burns could play inside and he could play out, and we kind of like fulfill some depth. That's just me. I'm just wishfully thinking. Bang, bang, Niner gang, forever Lorenzo Neal, and he going to smoke Guru in the – yes, sir.
Don't even worry about me smoking. I mean, dude, he's got a better chance of scratching the Lion's ass in the telephone booth to beat me. Guru can't beat me, and Guru knows he can't beat me. I'll give Guru 5. I'll give Guru 2 yards in the 40. I'll give him a 2-yard head start in the 40, and I'll put $100 that I'll catch him, and that's only in a 40 or 50. I can give him a yard, and I guarantee I'll run him down. Guaranteed, 1,000%. But man, what do you think about this team? Do you see this a playoff team? Is this fool's goal or is this pretend? What do you? All jokes aside, how do you look at this Niner team? What you've seen thus far, and with the rest of the NFC, how good can this team be?
The NFC is very, 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 very mid. The NFC can be had. This is a many year. We missed out last year, but it's okay because for whatever reason, the NFC is not as good this year as they were last year. We could mess around and find ourselves in an NFC championship game. We have a good team. Also, we lost a lot of games close last year, right? And we barely split by the margins. This year, it seems like it's turning our way. I feel like once we get all our players back with that pedigree, it's going to help us a lot. Lorenzo Neal, I got to kick it with you sometime. And I know you ain't lying about blowing out Guru because it's Sunday. You don't lie on Sunday.
Philmo, get on down to Sunnyvale one of these days, man.
Yeah, come on, kick it. We'll buy you a beer too, man. We get crazy.
Next home game.
Absolutely.
Next home game.
Bet.
When's the next home? He said next home game he's coming. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 3 weeks. 3 weeks. We'll see you there,
I'll
bro.
hold you to it, Phil.
I'm going to hold you to it, man. Come down and kick it with your boy, Lo Neal, baby. And Guru, if Guru listening, Guru, if you want to come down here, I'll beat you in front of Phil Mo. I guarantee it. Come on down here, Guru. Let me whoop you, boy.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, Phil Mo's good.
Yeah,
man.
he's fantastic.
But I like what he's saying, too. The 2-4.
Sounds like he's getting ready for the game, too.
Yeah, he said he's got no pain. He said he's got that good. He said he's got that good. I'm with him with I understand. That's why I was asking how good can this team be, and he's talking about when the rest of the help comes.
Yeah.
And that's what gives me some hope. And here's the deal. I look at the NFC, and you've seen it. There's so much parity. So for us to just miss this Niner team and say, oh, the strength of schedule, oh, the NFC's look at Green Bay. You and I both think they're good teams, but Green Bay, if you were depend on your defense week in and week out, and you don't look what happened when they played Cleveland.
Yep.
Cleveland is a team that could very well be undefeated if they had offense. So you can't just sit and just say, we got to discredit the Niners and say, oh, they just – and that's the thing. I didn't think this team was going to be at the level that they're at right now. They have exceeded my expectations.
Hands up, 100%.
And I'm telling you, you could have got a first-round pick, 2 first-round picks on defense. But I'm telling you, I said it, I'm going to say it again. The biggest transaction the 49ers did this year, better than the draft, was Robert Saleh.
Yes.
It was like that's a first. What he did, he's been able to do with this defense with less is worth the first-round pick.
And he's going to have his work cut out for him today because, and really for the rest of the season, until potential help comes via trade, because he is going to be without his best defensive player, or certainly one of them, in Nick Bosa. Let's go to Jacksonville. Maybe we got a Jaguars fan on the line.
Jags in the house.
Chris is in Jacksonville. Has a prediction for us today. Now, Chris, is it safe to assume that you are going for Jacksonville today?
Yeah, I got them covering the 3.5 spread. But really, I just want to talk to you guys because I know you guys are, down because Bosa's out. But we are terrified because Mikael Williams is in his place. Now, Mikael Williams played in Georgia. There's a ton of Georgia fans right here in Jacksonville. That's why Florida-Georgia gets played here every year. We've seen him play, and we are not resting on him. We are expecting him to play just as powerful as Bosa is. But I do feel like, with a lot of the other injuries, when Kittle is out, and you have and also I don't want to pick on the guy. You can't rely on, Christian McCaffrey. He can go down at any time. So I really do think that with this defense the Jaguars have, I'm going to say 27-21 Duval.
You love your defense, and that's what let's get in a little bit into the Jacksonville defense. What defense has been the mainstay? The offense has kind of struggled. Do you not agree with your defense? Are you really pleased with what the defense has done? And what have you liked most about the Jacksonville defense?
I love how our defense coordinator, Coach Campanile, is putting our great players in great positions to have great success. And Robert Saleh thinks the same way because he says that we're illegally cheating. Illegally stealing. Last time I checked, that's not a thing. That's not a thing. And so I feel like he doesn't want to give us the credit we have for being 2-1 right now. But I really do think that, and trust me, that's bulletin board material for that defense. Just saying, you think we're just going to cut corners and kind of do bush league things? Watch us at kickoff today. It's going to be 27-21, and y'all are going to have to make a trade before the deadline to really keep your chances up. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate the call, man. Yeah, enjoy the game today. I mean, I think that's fair. Certainly coming from a Jacksonville standpoint, but he is right though about someone like Mikael Williams. That is a player now, first round moniker, 11th overall pick. That's somebody that has got a lot of pressure on him at a very young stage in his career to not necessarily replace the production of Nick Bosa, but to certainly help make up for the loss.
I think that he does make up for the loss. He's not Nick Bosa. The guy can play. He can get after it. He's been very, very successful. And, we saw this in Georgia. Everyone talked about how elusive and how this guy played in Georgia, and that's why I guess it got a lot of guys in Florida, rather, and that's why Jacksonville, the fans, they're saying, hey, this guy can get after it. We want to see, because now you're in a different situation. You're not asking to play sparingly. You're not asking to be a temporary. Now you're asking to come in and play often and play at a high level with great consistency. So it's going to be interesting just to see how the young fella can play a whole game and play at a level where you're called upon for 4 quarters to be a starter. It's different than playing in spots.
Well, and the other thing, I think it was right before Chris, we were talking to Filmo about, I don't know if it's like, if you want to say power rankings or strength of conference. I do think that Filmo's onto something with the NFC feeling more wide open than the AFC. The AFC has top powers. I think like the most dominant team to me so far has been the Buffalo Bills.
Right.
I think they've just looked like whenever they want, just at will. And their defense is solid. The Colts have certainly shocked some people, but I don't know if they're a team with Daniel Jones that would scare a group. The point is, in the NFC, though the Niners are a team that right now, if I'm going to just say, like, all right, who do you think is like the best team in the NFC? I would go Philly. I would still go Green Bay. I would still even go L.A. But after that, and if you want to put them in that top 3 conversation, you can. But to me, the fact that the 49ers are even in the conversation at this stage in the season is a credit to them, because a lot of people, myself included, did not believe that they would quickly bounce back off the canvas and put themselves in a conversation of the elite in the NFC. This was a team I thought was going to be fighting for a wild card spot, and they still might, but they have a legitimate chance to win the division as they stand in first place. I did not think that this would be a team that after week 3 we would look at and say, all right, they might be on a given night better than the Rams. They might be on a given night better than Green Bay. Seattle's a team they've already beat who is also 3-1. Like, the 49ers to me have proven a lot in a very short amount of time, and that to me is something that I did not expect to be talking about at this stage.
Yeah, to me, I think a lot of this is due to, if we look at this 49ers team and you think about what happened last year, how many games was one score? How many games did they lose because your kicker? It was, you got to realize there's 3-4 games last year this Niner team, we talked about this Niner teams would have won if you had field position and kickers or block punts, block field goals, those things. So this team could have easily have gotten 4 more games last year if your kicker comes through. So I do understand how you look how quick they bounced off the canvas. You're right. But this team has been in some games, and I think that now you're seeing a team that's playing differently because they have belief. I think that you've been in these games early. This team does believe, and they're going to continue to believe until they get knocked off their canvas. And I think that this team is not going to quit the way that they're built. So it's just going to be interesting to see how this game and what they do the rest of the year.
And they're also a team that right now is going to get a little bit of help back. They are going to get Juwan Jennings and Ricky Pearsall. Pearsall was trending towards playing this week, showed up on the injury report on Wednesday, limited Thursday, Friday. But Juwan Jennings was someone that Kyle Shanahan said was less likely to play today than Ricky Pearsall. He is also active. And DeMarcus Robinson is going to make his first appearance as a San Francisco 49er today because he is back from his 3-game suspension. So he is ready for week 4 as well. You know, we're talking about can the offense find a way to run the ball? Can they find a way to pick up yards, to score some points? You now have as close to a full complement of wide receivers as you will have. Now, obviously, Jennings and Pearsall are less than 100%, but you get DeMarcus Robinson back. Brock Purdy is at the helm, obviously, playing quarterback today after a 2-week absence. This is going to give us a kind of a closer, in-depth look at what this offense could be, of course, looking down the line.
Yeah, it is, and it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to be able to perform. You do got some help. You got some of the cavalry. Some of the guys are coming back. Like you said, they've been on some injuries. Some things have happened. It's going to be a good barometer for this team. How does this team bounce back when you get a lot of some of the weapons back? You talk about, like you said, some suspensions are over. You're going to get guys that hasn't been in the lineup. So is that going to help this team? Undoubtedly. It's going to be interesting also just to see how Brock, after being down for 2 weeks, how is he going to step in? What is going to be, how is he going to control the game? Is it going to be like riding a bike? Of course, he's going to have a little bit of rest. How much is he going to trust his toe? How much is he going to push it? Is he going to try to extend plays? What can we expect from Brock Purdy? See, those are some things I think that I think that's what we anticipate. What's his expectation? Is he going to be more of a pocket quarterback today? Are they going to try to move the pocket? So I want to see how Kyle Shanahan implements this young man, how Brock Purdy plays, dealing with a turf toe that I know the injury can be very, very serious. Just how much Shanahan asks him to do with his feet.
And also how much he naturally is going to want to do just because of his play style. I think Brock Purdy is far more improvisational than someone like Mac Jones, but is the fact that he's got a turf toe. Does that make him reluctant to take off and use his legs as much as we saw, certainly in the game against Seattle? And I think in a lot of games last year when he had to run because the offensive line, if it breaks down, maybe the run game's not there, he's got to get busy in an RPO game. What is Brock Purdy's level of health? I think that's also a big key to this game as well. We got your keys to the game coming up. We're also going to talk about the rest of the 1 o'clock games on the other side, as well as, of course, the Sunday night and even Monday night game. Lo and I have been going through the games. It's a lot of fun. We'll talk about each team, sort of the storylines, break them down, and, of course, end our final segment with our predictions about the San Francisco 49ers. If you've been listening to the show, if you have been here at Laughing Monk, you have our predictions, but we will restate them with a little more flush, of course, on the other side when we come back. But we are live live here at Laughing Monk. Shout out to everybody that is on the bus right now, getting ready to go to Levi's Stadium. There's been 150 people that have locked in their spot to and from Levi's that are going to the game. Next home game is in 3 weeks. It's Sunday Night Football against the Atlanta Falcons. You can have your place right there and then on the bus to and from Laughing Monk Brewing. If you go to 957thegame.com, click on the Kickoff Show graphic, go to the Eventbrite link, and get yourself a spot on the bus, of course, and a spot and a good time here at Laughing Monk in Sunnyvale. One final break before we take you up until kickoff at 1:05. 49ers as well as the Jaguars right here at Levi's Stadium. Back with more of the Kickoff Show after this.
Bang, bang.
I knew that I was not living the life that I wanted to live. Buprenorphine, it gave me the time and space to take life one step at a time. I am living proof that recovery is possible.
Get treatment. It works. Learn more. Visit livingproofsf.org.
You're on the list for Macy's Fall VIP Sale. That means you're invited to save big on this season's top designer looks at prices you'll love. Like an extra 30% off Calvin Klein, Steve Madden, Hugo Boss, and more. Plus, get 15% off beauty and fragrance from Estee Lauder, Lancome, and so many others. This only happens a few times a year. Don't miss the Fall VIP Sale. Today, only at Macy's. Savings off regular and already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
Boost your day at Whole Foods Market. Get 30% off all packaged coffee with Prime through September 30th. Grab your favorite beans for a delicious morning brew. While supplies last, shop in-store or online. Terms apply.
This year, the Valley of Hearts Delight fundraiser shines brighter than ever with our theme, Legacies Under the Lights. Step into History Park, glowing with restored historic neon signs from the History San Jose collection, and enjoy an unforgettable night of dining, live music, and celebration. All proceeds support preserving the stories and landmarks that make our valley unique. Tickets are now on sale at historysanjose.org. Join us for Legacies Under the Lights October 9th and help keep history shining for generations to come.
Are you interested in being an install or service technician? Good news! R&S Doors and Gates is hiring. If you have good mechanical skills and a knowledge of power tools, welding, and motor controls, you should apply today. R&S Doors has openings to repair and install commercial overhead doors, entry doors, and loading dock equipment. You must be able to work in a professional, fast-paced environment. Call 800-FIX-A-DOOR and apply today. That's 800-FIX-A-DOOR or visit rsdoors.com. R&S Doors. Look for the red truck.
Are you ready to finally make that dream a reality? Maybe it's updating your kitchen, paying down high-interest credit cards, or covering tuition. Your home is more than where you live. It's also your most powerful asset. At Unlock, we make it simple to turn equity into options. With a home equity agreement, you can access cash today without taking on new debt or monthly payments. Imagine the freedom to invest in your home, reduce financial stress, or finally start that big project you've been putting off. It's your home. It's your future. Unlock it today. Visit unlock.com to learn more about a home equity agreement. That's unlock.com to learn more.
Terms and conditions apply. Not all homeowners will qualify. Not available in all states. Actor Portrayal. Home equity agreements are offered by Unlock Home Equity Solutions, Inc. In certain states, NMLS number 2657081. Visit www.consumeraccess.org for more info.
Morning, Zoe. Got donuts.
Jeff Bridges, why are you still living above our garage?
Well, I dig the mattress, and I want to be in a T-Mobile commercial like you. Teach me, Saldana.
Oh, no, I'm not really prepared. I couldn't possibly.
At T-Mobile, get the new iPhone 17 Pro on them. It's designed to be the most powerful iPhone yet and has the ultimate pro camera system.
Wow, impressive. Let me try. T-Mobile is the best place to get iPhone 17 Pro because they've got the best network.
Nice, Jeffrey.
You heard them. T-Mobile is the best place to get the new iPhone 17 Pro on us with eligible trade-in in any condition.
So, what are we having for lunch?
Dude, my work here is done.
The 24 monthly bill credit is on experience beyond for well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Finance agreement iPhone 17 Pro 256 gigs, $1,099.99 and new line minimum $100 plus a month plan with auto pay plus taxes and fees required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data 1/8/2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Join 95.7 The Game at Pier 39 for a special live broadcast from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturday, October 4th. Meet Zaza Pachulia, Festus Ezeli, Kalina Azabuki, Tim Roy, and Bonte Hill. Plus, enter to win Warriors tickets. For more info, visit 957thegame.com.
On Saturday, October 4th, Pier 39 is throwing a party on the waterfront. Enjoy drinks to go and activities for the whole family. From live music to special deals, it's all here at Pier 39. Learn more at pier39.com/entertainment zone.
This year, the Valley of Hearts Delight fundraiser shines brighter than ever. With our theme, Legacies Under the Lights, step into History Park, glowing with restored historic neon signs from the History San Jose collection, and enjoy an unforgettable night of dining, live music, and celebration. All proceeds support preserving the stories and landmarks that make our valley unique. Tickets are now on sale at historysanjose.org. Join us for Legacies Under the Lights October 9th and help keep history shining for generations to come.
Now back to the Kickoff Show on 95.7 The Game.
Man, 30 minutes between now and kickoff. The Niners and the Jaguars. Niners trying to stay undefeated. Jaguars, of course, 2-1, coming off a win against the Texans their last time out. Should be a good one. Should be a tight one. And I feel like kind of independent of opponent right now, Lo, it just feels like the 49ers are a team that, because of how sound and buttoned up they've played so far, the level that they've displayed so far, even without losing someone like Bosa, I have confidence that the coaching staff and really the dynamic duo that's been Kyle Shanahan and Robert Saleh, they're going to keep this team in a position within striking distance, essentially, whether it's Jacksonville next week against the Rams, in a way that the coaching and the job that they've done so far is the reason why I have confidence that the San Francisco 49ers are going to win today, but are just going to be in any game, I would say, the majority of the time.
You know what? Let's look at this like and kind of think about what we've experienced as a Niner fans and as Niner faithful, what they've gone through. You have to realize you lost a guy who was probably MVP, player of the year, got an unbelievable amount of money, Brock Purdy.
Mm-hmm.
You lost him, and everyone said, oh, my goodness, you don't have Purdy. You know, he's one of the better quarterbacks. This guy's got paid, and he's out. You won. You lost Kittle, Hall of Fame, one of the best tight ends in the league. You're like, oh, my God, this offense is going to struggle. What's going to happen? Oh, my goodness, what's going to happen? You won 2 games. You have lost guys. You don't have Brandon Ayuk. You can say, oh, this offense is going to struggle. It's struggled, but you still won. Now you look at a guy who's defensive player of the year before, unbelievable pass rusher, and Nicky Bosa, and now I said, okay, sound the alarms. Golly, what are you going to do? Well, how many sacks did you have with him? Nick Bosa's a great player, unbelievable player, great, one of the better pass rushers in the league. But was he in his stride? Were they making? Did he have 4 sacks this year? Had 2 sacks? Was he changing the game? Was he? So yes. So I'm just saying it just to temper expectations. Yes, we lost a hell of a player. Nicky Bosa is unbelievable, and I'm not sitting here saying, hey, look, there's not a handful of guys that you probably would want over Nicky Bosa as far as the total package. Can play the run, can get after passer, do all those different things. But don't just wave the white flag right now because Nick Bosa's out. You haven't been able to pressure the quarterback with Nicky, but that's why the DC, Saleh says he's a closer, he's a finisher, because when he needed to make a play, he was been able to make a play at those times. So, yes, you don't have that. But at the same sense, you still have been able to win these games. This is a team right now that is playing well, that are playing with motions, that are finding a way to win, that's playing complementary football, that's not doing it without exotic blitzes, without getting 5, 6 sacks a game, without 4 or 5 turnovers. They're not doing it without rushing for 300 yards. Quarterback's not throwing for 300-plus yards. They're not running for 150, 200 yards rushing. They're just winning. That's what's positive about this team and about what they're doing.
If they win this game today, and I realize, you look around the NFL and there's always some surprises, and the Niners are never a team that I think people are surprised if and when they're good just because of the consistent level that they've displayed really since Kyle Shanahan turned things around from 2017 and then into 2019. But if they win this game today with those things that you've described, the type of adversity that they've already had to overcome, I know the Indianapolis Colts are an upstart team. no one necessarily expected them. People expected them to be better, but not a team that could be undefeated after 4 weeks. To me, the San Francisco 49ers are the best story of the first quarter of the season if they win this game today. You think about, you're absolutely right. You lose your starting quarterback for 2 of those games. George Kittle goes out, and you basically didn't have him for all of the Seattle game because he got hurt in the first half. You lose Nick Bosa for the entire season. You're already without Ayuk. Jawan Jennings misses one of those football games. And you still are undefeated in 4-0. Opponent be damned. That, to me, is the best story in the NFL. With all due respect to Daniel Jones and the Colts, if the Niners, with the amount of injuries and adversity that they've had to overcome so far, win this football game today and are undefeated after 4 games, to me, they're the team that deserves to be talked about in the A block and all these national shows.
Oh, without a doubt. That's what you and I are alluding to, the ability to win football games. The ability to play when everything is out there that is not going well for you. When you're sitting here, you're playing football games, and you're not winning the football games that you think you're winning. You're not losing the games that people think you're going to lose. You're finding a way to scratch and crawl and win, and then 1 man down, 2 men down, 3 men down, 4, then 5, and then 6, and then 7 and more, and you're still finding a way to win. Think about it. You Kittle. If you think about Hughes check, concussion.
Yeah.
You're talking about Jennings. You're talking about your quarterback Brock. Now you're Daniel Jones. Now your other Mac Jones is out. Think about what you have lost. You're talking about 5, 6 players, bro. This is not 2 or 3
players.
Impact players. Bosa, you lost more than 4 or 5 players for some length of time, and you're still standing there undefeated. Without a doubt, this should be what's playing. Or this would be what's playing, what's being on TVs and playing on the First Take. This should be on there because this team has shown you a lot.
And that's why it was even after just the first week, you could kind of tell that there's something a little different about this 49ers team. And maybe it was because we watched all last year and we're just looking for a game where they would finally put it together. They never did. But after the Week 1 win in Seattle against a team that is increasingly looking like a much tougher opponent than I think a lot of us gave them credit for, the San Francisco 49ers are a group that, again, they keep winning games. I think people are going to start turning their heads wondering, all right, well, like, is this team just right back there? Is this team just right back to being a potential elite group? You know, because I'm thinking about the NFC low, and a lot of the great quarterbacks do reside in the AFC. The Eagles are the team that needs to be, knocked off the mantle. They won the Super Bowl last year. I think the Rams are a team that, because of taking the Eagles right to the very end of the finish line and basically, being a play or 2 away from making the Super Bowl, potentially winning it, they get the benefit of the doubt to me. But after that, the 49ers are knocking on the door. They are demanding the respect of the NFL. And to me, it's less about, okay, well, they beat Jacksonville. What are we talking about here? It's about the body of work.
Right.
And I think the body of work right now you could put up against Philly, L.A., even Green Bay, who obviously has lost a game. But some of those teams that others look at say, that team's elite, that team's got everything. The Niners are a group that's kind of pounding on the glass saying, look, man, like we got a lot here too. We got a lot of players that are left over from a Super Bowl run. And although one of them is out in Nick Bosa, we still got a bunch of guys combined with this young talent that believe they could do something special this year.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing why you and I both are so optimistic and we're looking at this team saying, okay, why should you count on them? Why can you put them in the mix? And I'm going to tell you right now, it's because offensively. What team in the NFC offensively scares you? When you think about Green Bay, they don't scare me.
Philly should scare you.
They should,
but they haven't.
They haven't. So when that's what tells me that this Niner team they're like the rest of the NFC. When is this offense going to take off? Because you look at the Cowboys, their offense is showing they can score. You look at certain teams, but they don't have the defense. So it's like when this Niners defense soars, this offense soars and takes off, I think this team right now, you can say it can compete with the best of them. I think you've got to continue to get the running game going, but you're going to have help in the passing game that's going to make teams say, we got to put, only got a 4-man box or, a 3-man. We got to drop an extra safety. We got to put an extra on the field because of the fact we got to double some. We have to stop the passing game. That's how prolific this passing game, in my opinion, can be once everyone's healthy.
And again, they're going to get a couple of those pieces back today. Jawan Jennings is going to be active for this game. Was questionable coming in. So is Ricky Pearsall. He is also active, the number 1 wide receiver for the San Francisco 49ers. And, of course, DeMarcus Robinson will be making his 2025 debut after serving his 3-game suspension. So they have 3 steady wide receivers combined with Kendrick Bourne, who's filled in nicely, combined with Christian McCaffrey, who may not need to take 12 targets in this football game because you finally got some guys on the outside that can catch the ball. I think that this offense, while it's not complete, it's not whole yet. You're looking to get Kittle back as well. Today is a glimpse into how high of a ceiling the offense can get to me, because you'll finally see Brock Purdy with some serviceable veteran wide receivers, and Kyle Shanahan is now able to open up the playbook a little bit more, specifically on the outside, where you didn't have Robinson to start the year. Jawan Jennings was coming off the calf, probably wasn't 100%, even missed 1 game last week against Arizona. Pearsall has really been the only steady horse of wide receivers for this Niners team, and now you got 3 of them back today.
Yeah, and that's why you got to give Mac Jones a lot of credit. What he was able to do. Here's a guy that's not necessarily a mobile and running, scrambling quarterback. Your offensive line did pretty good. Here's an offensive line that was a question mark that people talked about. Can they protect him? They protect him just enough to be still 3-0. They protect him enough to win 2 games. They protect him enough to keep the guy upright, to let him go down driving on the final drive to win the game. So you got to give that offense a lot of credit, and they've just stepped in and they're playing well. It's great that you have the rest of these receivers coming back, because now you are right. You might take away, you're going to mitigate some of the workload from Christian McCaffrey, and other guys are going to be there that can catch the ball and do other things. This could help this offense, and this might that shot in the arm that this team may need to get to the next level.
All right, well, we got about 15 minutes between now and the end of the kickoff show. Again, coming to you live every single home game, live at Laughing Monk Brewing, starting at 10 a.m. Evan Giddings, Lorenzo Neal, we got you for road games 2 hours before the 49ers kickoff all season long, 17 weeks here on 95.7 The Game. We're going to go through the 1 o'clocks, then the Sunday night game, Monday night game, and then we're going to wrap up, of course, with our prediction for the San Francisco 49ers and the Jacksonville Jaguars. So the game that I think in the 1 o'clock slate is probably the best, ironically, is going to put Baltimore or Kansas City at 1-3. One of those 2 teams is going to be a 3-loss group, and obviously both teams that have aspirations to make noise in the AFC.
Yeah, to me, I want to see Kansas City. Let's see what Kansas City's about, because I watched last week, Detroit Lions ran the ball up and down Baltimore. Baltimore, they have big guys up front. They play high. They can't come off blocks. They don't arm tackle well. They get once they come up to try to make it to the shed and try to make the tackle, they're getting pancaked because the offensive linemen keep driving their feet. They got the ball ran down their throat. I don't think Baltimore is good up front defensively against the run. If they're not in the right zone fits, they're getting beat up. So I want to see, I think Kansas City is going to try to hammer them with the ball, running the ball. I don't think Baltimore's offense, their defense is playing at a high level.
No, and that's why last week when we were talking about that Monday night game, I like the Lions in that game specifically because they can dominate on the ground. There's one thing that team does really well, and it is 100% based on how well they run the ball. Gibbs and Montgomery gash them. And to me, this game is going to be about if Kansas City has a rushing attack. Because I don't know. They haven't been able to run the football well yet. But if there is a team I believe they can run the ball against, it would be Baltimore. So I think it's going to be a bit revealing about, are the Chiefs a team that, and they're not whole either. Look, they got wide receivers who are suspended. They got guys who are out. If they can't run the football against Baltimore, I do think it's we're getting close to sounding the panic alarm on Kansas City. Because I think this is a game that, especially at home, Baltimore's a good team, don't get me wrong. But I like the Chiefs in this game.
I do too. This is a game that I think the Chiefs win. I don't think it's going to be. I think that they should handle the Ravens. The Ravens are a good team, and the Ravens are going to play with some vigor because they got to show that they can bounce back. So this is two teams that need these wins. I got to go with the Chiefs as well.
All right, and then we got Las Vegas hosting Chicago. So Caleb Williams is going to invade Sin City against Geno Smith and the Raiders.
Yeah, and, I think a lot of people, they're getting optimistic and talking about, hey, look, here's this young player playing pretty well. Caleb Wilson starting to, play well at the quarterback position. They're going to go there, and, they think they're hot. I don't think they're beating the Raiders. I'm going to take the Raiders at home. I think the Raiders, try to get off the sty. They played a couple bad weeks. I think Geno and this organization, they're going to find a way to beat the Bears.
I agree. I think that last week, Caleb Williams threw for 300 yards and 4 touchdowns against the Dallas Cowboys, who have been made, their defense might be the worst in football, especially their secondary. I mean, they gave up 450 yards to Russell Wilson, who lost his job a week later. So I think that it was a little fool's gold last week for Caleb Williams and co. I like the Raiders in this game. I think home field makes a bit of a difference, but to me, I just don't think the Raiders have been as bad as the level that they displayed the last 2 weeks. I think that if Geno Smith takes care of the ball in this football game, they're going to win.
Yeah.
As for the Sunday night game, the Micah Parsons Bowl, Dallas is hosting Green Bay.
Wow.
And I don't know about you. I didn't like the trade. I don't think that if you're a team that's trying to compete in general, trading your best player on either side of the ball is something that really invites morale. I understand why they did it. They didn't want to pay him the money. They got a couple first-round picks and a player. But I don't think it's a coincidence that the moment Micah Parsons leaves, and while he might not be the greatest defensive player in the league, he certainly is among them. And the defense without him just looks absolutely horrible.
Yeah, he is a top pass rusher. The guy has a motor. He's relentless. He can put pressure on the quarterback. He can run things down from the backside against you. It's going to be a game. The Dallas Cowboys, they're going to want to play well. You got some friends. I've been to a lot of teams where I played against the teams that I was on, and I wanted to kill them. I know what Marco Parsons is going through. I know his emotions, where he's at today. It's like I got to show Jerry Jones. He wants to go stand on that star and do a TO and probably go to the middle of the star. But you got to realize the Dallas Cowboys, they get paid too. They want these guys, even though they love Micah Parsons and those guys wanted him on that team, it's bragging rights. They don't want to lose to Michael Parsons. But I think when you look at it, though, Green Bay didn't play well last week, especially offensively. Offensively, Green Bay Packers offense, they should be doing way more. They got weapons. They got running game. They just got to start scoring more. Very disappointed in the way that their offense, and I think they are as well. So I think this is a redemption game. I think Green Bay Packers, but this is going to be a hell of a game. This is when I'm going to get my popcorn because I want to watch.
Yeah, and I also think it's going to test just how good this Green Bay defense is, because the one thing that the Dallas Cowboys have been able to do is put up some points. Obviously, without CeeDee Lamb, that takes a big toll and a big piece away from their offense. But I think the Cowboys have a chance to put up some points in this game. I'm more curious to see how Jordan Love responds to the way that he sort of got manhandled. As did that offensive line. For example, did you see the clip on social media that was going viral last week? Was Myles Garrett, who beat, I think it was like their left tackle or left guard, immediately just smoked him right by him, and immediately you hear the Green Bay offensive lineman yell, "Run, Jordan, run! Throw it, throw it!" Like, it's just immediately that was him the entire game. He's a guy was just running for his life.
Right. He really was, and that's a team that that if they had an offense. I think this team, the Cleveland, it's like it's a dumpster fire. You have that good of a defense. Every year your defense is carrying you, and you can't manufacture points. You can't find a way to win. Games that you should win, you're throwing interceptions. They close out games. It's a team that's just they don't know how to win. They don't know what it takes to win. They don't believe that they can win. That organization, I think, is just unbelievable. They got to go. I don't know if it's I know I don't know what you get rid of the owner. I don't know is it the head coach? It's so many things there because Myles Garrett is a generational type of talent. This guy, he's a man amongst boys, and he deserves. He wants to win. I know he's got a contract and he wants to be in Cleveland, but it's just tough when you're that type of player and your defense can play the way they play. It's got to be frustrating.
It has to be, yeah. So I think we're both on Green Bay in that game. 2 Monday night games. coming up. The first one, a couple 0-3 teams in the AFC least. That is the Miami Dolphins hosting the New York Jets.
Yeah, and this is a game, you're talking about the Miami Dolphins who have any fight left in them. You saw the last week they had a chance to win that ball game. They fought like hell, and they thought they were probably going to beat the Buffalo Bills.
Man.
They had a chance. I think they're done. I think the Jets beat them. I think the Jets go to Miami and beat them. I think that these guys are still going to play for Aaron Glenn. And I love, we love the coach for Miami, and he's great with the Niners. I think that he's going to be back a Niner.
I think he is too, but I'll take Miami in this game just because I think you're right. If they don't win this game, they are cooked. Like Mike McDaniel might get fired on Tuesday morning because this is a football team that has just found ways to lose. They clearly don't trust their quarterback. The play caller is not in his right mind right now. Everything is just going wrong in that place. Meanwhile, the Jets are in somewhat of a reset in year one for their head coach. I'll take Miami just on the feels of if they don't win, there's going to be some changes. The next game on Monday before we get to the San Francisco 49ers and the Jacksonville Jaguars is the Denver Broncos coming off a loss last week against the Chargers, against the Bengals, who got absolutely blown out by the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, this is Denver, especially Denver is just a team. They've been right there. Denver's playing good football. They're a team that can get after you. They can play. They've got one of the best front fours in football. They play good defense. They get after you, and their offense is okay. It's not great, but you know what Bo Nix can do. He can run around, scramble. They got some receivers. The back end of that defense, Surtain and the rest of those guys in the secondary, they're pretty amazing. So I got Denver beating up on the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think, look, with a backup quarterback and Browning playing, there's going to be some inconsistencies. I don't think there's any way he could be as bad as he was last week against Minnesota, basically giving them a couple touchdowns and allowing that game to get out of hand. But the issue is Denver's defense is better than the Minnesota Vikings. Brian Flores has done a really good job with the Vikings, no doubt about it, even though they lost today. But I just feel like Browning he might make things interesting, but I don't see how Cincinnati wins this game.
Yeah,
Bo Nix is awful.
If you told me to pick a game of the week, that would be my game of the week that I would say that Denver. That's the one that I like more than
That's your
any.
survivor?
That's my survivor would be. I didn't hear you talk much about a game, the Indianapolis Colts and the Rams.
Oh, sorry. I missed that game. My bad.
That game, how do you see that one? Daniel Jones has been playing lights out. He's got the Colts undefeated. They've been playing good football. He's throwing the ball. They have a pretty good runner. They're running the ball.
Yeah.
Their defense, they bend, don't break. How do you see that one?
I like L.A. because, again, that was a game last week that they controlled for just about 58 minutes. And it was on the road in Philly. I thought it was an impressive early showing for them. I think that it's not that the Colts are – I wouldn't call them fraudulent. I think they're a good team. But I do think that the Rams are a team that can stand up against the run. They have enough weapons on the outside to produce points. And I'm not sure if Shane Steichen is going to be able to scheme enough for Daniel Jones to outshoot Matt Stafford and Sean McVay at home.
Yeah, with me, I gotta take the Colts. I just think that when you look at the Indianapolis Colts, what they've been able to do offensively and the way that the firepower offensively and the running back, one of the better, Jonathan Taylor, the way that he runs the ball, this is going to be a physical type of game. I love the Rams. I love what they do. I'm really, really interested in see because I don't think the Colts are pretend. They say,
they're good.
Fool's goal. I don't think they're fool's goal. You don't put up 30 on Denver. You don't just put up every week. You're putting up their offense can score. You're not going to keep their offense out of the end zone. I think they're ready for this moment. I think you got a quarterback that's playing with a lot of zeal, and you got a defense that's getting after it. I like the Indianapolis Colts finding a way to win on the road.
I think that's fair. I mean, to me, again, we talked about sort of the best stories in the NFL right now. To me, it's between the Niners and the Colts with the amount of injuries that the Niners have had to overcome and just, I would say, the redemption arc of Daniel Jones in Indianapolis. And then, of course, the last game we got before we wrap up here on the Kickoff Show is the 49ers and the Jaguars. This is a game, Lo, that I think will follow a similar script to really the first 3 weeks, which is Brock Purdy does return today. He will have as full complement of a receiving core as he's had all season long, with Demarcus Robinson making his debut, Pearsall, Jennings active for this game. I think this is where you see the offense, sort of lean into what they've done well, which is play ahead, operate well on first down, make some third down plays. McCaffrey is going to be the guy to move the chains. They're going to score enough points, and they're going to allow that defense to eat. I think this is a game that the Niners will win. I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to come down to, again, some closer, whether it's on defense. Today I would lean more towards the offense making the final winning plays, much like Mac Jones did last week against Arizona. I see this one going to the Niners 24-20.
Yeah, I see this being a close game too. I could see somewhere in there, maybe 21-17. I think Niners win maybe 21-17. I just don't think neither one of these offenses you can hang your hat on them and say that they can go out there and score. I'd love to see the Niners to get off to a quick start and play from in front and be able to take more risk on defense and get after it. Maybe this is the breakout game. Purdy's been sitting back, watching tape, doing this stuff. You got Pearsall, you got these guys. You got more offensive weapons. Maybe this is the game for the Niners to break out offensively at least a little bit more, because if they can get to 21, they win this game. I don't think that neither. So the first team to me, I always like the first team to 21. I always say it wins, especially this type of game. I wouldn't say that if you're the Rams and Colts. I'm not saying 21's going to win it. If you're looking around the league and you said, okay, look at freaking the Falcons and Commanders. 21 ain't winning it. So you look at some teams, first team to 21. That doesn't work for every team in the league. Like I believe with the Packers and Dallas Cowboys, I don't think the first team to 21 wins. I think that you're going to see, over 21 scored in that. One of those teams is going to score more than 21 points. Baltimore and Kansas City, I don't think the first team to 21 wins that game. I think that you got to score more than at least 27 to win that game, because both these offenses will score some points. So I just think today the Niners need to play great defense, which they have. Jacksonville's been playing good defense as well. So I'd like to see the Niners just get out to a fast start, put some points on the board, and I would love to be wrong. They have the coming out party, and they put up 30.
Well, we'll see. With Brock Purdy's return today after 2 weeks from the turf toe, he takes the field at Levi Stadium in just a couple of minutes. But that's going to do it for us here at Laughing Monk Brewing down in Sunnyvale. Next time we will be here is in 3 weeks for the Sunday Night Football kickoff between the Niners and the Falcons. This week we'll be off on Thursday. We'll be back the next time you can hear us is in 2 Sundays from now, Tampa Bay on the road. And then, of course, we'll be back live here at Laughing Monk in Sunnyvale for the Sunday Night Football game 3 weeks from today. For my partner, Lorenzo Neal, for everyone here at 95.7 The Game, for our beautiful partners here at Laughing Monk Brewing, my name is Evan Giddings saying so long. Coming up next is Fox Sports programming. After the Niners, you can hear, of course, Mark Grandy and Sterling Bennett. Every single reaction to the Niners. We'll see if they can move to 4-0 as they play the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's overtime. Catch it all right here on 95.7 The Game. Take it easy, everyone.
Bang, bang.
Hi, I'm John Ray, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. Getting engaged? So friends in the Bay, listen up. Shane Company engagement rings are protected with our all-inclusive free lifetime warranty. We stand behind the same quality we've offered since 1929. Our rings are crafted to last. It's why our warranty is the only one that protects your center stone. We also cover repairs, resizings, cleanings, and so much